Hey everybody, welcome to GameKraft GameKast on the GamerAccess.com. I'm your host, Bronson Fiore, joined by
Anthony Tom.
And special guest, a good friend of mine from the fine city of Seattle, Washington,
Miss Emily Holslander.
All right, Emily, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing tonight?
Fantastic. Now, I have told people on this podcast after PAX how rad you and Brandon were when Quinn and I hung out with you guys.
Yeah, I remember that. And he sends his hellos, by the way.
All right, right on. I don't talk to Brandon much. I probably should more. But anyway, tell the fine people about yourself.
Well, I'm from Seattle. I work at a greeting card shop. Go figure. And I do some cosplaying.
Yeah, so you've done Jade, which that was really good.
I actually did it at last PAX too.
Yeah, so you've done Jade the past two PAXs?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw your David Tennant Doctor Who.
That was Emerald City, 2012.
That was pretty good. David Tennant is not my favorite Doctor, but still fantastic cosplay.
Thank you.
My favorite's Eccleston.
Yeah, it's kind of a guilty pleasure.
So, and then I think you also did Sakura?
Street Fighter 4. That was my first two PAXs, 10 and 11, actually.
Okay, so I've done Mario. Personally, I've only done Mario. Quinn and I have all these amazing ideas, but we just never execute them because, one, laziness, or two, we just like Mario and Luigi, we almost got completely done, but we couldn't find a place that sells overalls. And the really shitty part about that is we were boarding the plane to Seattle, and we met a guy who was also going to PAX because we were wearing our Mario and Luigi hats, and this other guy waved at us and was like, "Oh, you guys going up to Seattle?" We're like, "Yeah." And then he gets out of his bag his full out Mario costume. We're like, "Where the hell did you find overalls?" He's like, "Oh yeah, the farmer's surplus store." We're just like, "Fuck! Why didn't we think of that?"
That's good for next year. It's good for next year.
Yeah, for sure. I also talked to Quinn. Continues to think of amazing cosplay ideas because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but in a lot of fiction, there's a lot of duos where it's a short, broad guy and a tall, lanky guy.
Yeah.
We noticed that, Nico and Roman, Mario, Luigi, Jay and Silent Bob, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. He posted that one last night. I'm like, this is easily the best one.
I saw that on your Facebook. I was just like, oh, dear God. Okay.
So I still think by far the best one for us, though, is Jay and Silent Bob with, a sign behind us saying, "Eat pussy," from Clerks 2. That's far and away my favorite. Obviously, we'd have to censor it for PAX. Yeah.
Obviously.
But just then Quinn could go, "Oh, we totally do." Just nod.
Oh, we totally do.
I love that movie. You ever see Clerks 2?
Wait, who's that question directed towards?
You.
Me?
Yeah, both of you.
Dude, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I've probably seen Clerks 2 5 or 6 times.
Right on. What's your favorite Kevin Smith movie?
Oh God, it's really hard to choose. I think Mallrats is one of my favorites.
That's right. Yeah, Mallrats is really good. Personally, mine is Chasing Amy. I
don't know. I'd have to watch that movie again, but it's been a while. I mean, when I saw it, I was just like, eh.
That part in the beginning about Darth Vader and Star Wars is racist made me laugh my ass off.
I thought it was pretty funny also.
Yeah, Anthony, you like Chasing Amy. I remember you seeing that movie with me.
I like it, but at first I thought it was a comedy because you told me it was very funny. It actually wasn't a comedy. Yeah. So I was like, wait, hang on. I was told this was funny, so I thought it was supposed to be humorous.
You lied.
It was just humorous mainly because of what fun you can make of it.
Yeah. I also really like the original Clerks.
Oh yeah.
Even then, I like Chasing Amy.
Classic.
The original Clerks is really awesome.
Such a classic.
One of my favorite movies, not a Kevin Smith movie, but I just looked at my Blu-ray collection. Next to Chasing Amy, I have The Invention of Lying. Yeah, has anyone ever seen this movie?
No, I kind of wanted to see it though.
If or when I'm up there, I'll loan you the Blu-ray. It's basically the whole concept is this guy's in a world where they can't lie, and he discovers lying. But it's just the concept of a world without lying made me laugh because the advertisement for Pepsi was Pepsi for when there's not Coke.
Okay.
Like, I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of true.
Well, to be honest, there are like people like me who actually do like Pepsi more than Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Aaron and I have this conversation, and we don't understand Pepsi people. We don't get it.
Well, I just think that Pepsi has a smoother feel than Coca-Cola. But that's basically it, really. I mean, aside from that, I can't really tell much difference between the two. And Coca-Cola is great. I have absolutely no problem with Coca-Cola. And I think Coca-Cola tastes awesome when you take a glass, put ice in it, and just pour a can in. Somehow it just tastes much better when you have a glass with ice in it and you drink Coca-Cola that way instead of out of a can. So, but I like Pepsi because it's a little smoother.
Speaking of, so what you're saying, so Anthony, I want your opinion on this, and Emily, do you think we should bring back those energy drink tests we used to do?
Energy drink tests?
Yeah. So Emily, way back in the dark days of when Anthony and I started, and when Quinn and I actually, it was Quinn and I down in my basement back in 2008 is when Quinn and I started podcasting, and we one of our sticks is every week we would taste a new energy drink.
Oh dear God.
First off, this horrible experience ruined me for energy drinks forever because it made me realize they all taste awful. They all taste the same, or mostly the same. I remember the first
tiny bits of flavor here and there.
Yeah, like I can taste that taurine. Yummy chemicals. I mean,
energy drinks is just like, the ones I feel are especially to avoid is anything that says 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Well, I
don't drink those anyway.
They say that stuff, and I'm like, well, yeah, but you still need to get energy somehow, so I'm pretty sure bathroom chemicals.
Battery acid in my drink.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure bathroom chemicals don't come with calories or sugar either.
Yeah, no, I remember we tried Redline for the first time, and that was our first ever episode. The first thing energy drink we tried was Redline, and I remember saying it had stuff like don't drink if you are pregnant, don't drink if you have heart conditions. It had all these medical warnings on it, and only drink half of this to determine tolerance. So this was some intense shit, and Quinn and I both drank half of it, and I was more alert than normal, but at that point in my life, I was actually a healthy person. I actually exercised regularly. So I was really high energy already, so it didn't affect me that much. Quinn, at this point in his life, lived off caffeine in World of Warcraft. So he is, jumping off the walls. But, Quinn, we're in the middle of recording, and his foot is just tapping like crazy. Fingers are moving all across the desk. It was almost like a meth addict about to itch their own face off.
Jittering like crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So Redline. And then I remember my taste description for Redline, and it's probably what the ingredients were. It tasted like Kool-Aid and ground up pills. It had a very chalky taste to it.
Ew.
Yeah, tasted like chalky Kool-Aid.
I don't think I've had energy drinks since last PAX, because my brother and I bought a couple of things of Amp for the weekend.
Why would you do that to yourself?
But that was it. I had those two, and I had Tully's coffee.
I remember, so when I'm at PAX, my like sugary drink of choice to keep me going is like just Coke. It's regular Coke.
Yeah, had that too.
yeah, the drug and the drink. That's how you keep going through PAX, right?
Yep.
Just do lines in the bathroom.
Of course, for me, it was fixing my wardrobe before I went out.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I remember. What was it? Like I don't do energy drinks at a con because I find them disgusting. And coffee is, with exception of going to or leaving a con, especially in fucking Seattle. There's not much coffee. Like Seattle, when you're going to the con, there's coffee every 10 feet. And leaving the con, same thing. So but sodas everywhere. Like sodas at every restaurant, everything. So you just constantly get a constant stream of Coke in you.
Yeah, you can get a 20 ounce of Coke at Tully's up at Convention Center.
Yeah,
no joke.
And then and then they have that it's in the expo hall, that just cafeteria area. That's there. Those are like $1.20 a can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they kind of rape you up there, but it's convenient. Though that's convention food in general, especially in Las Vegas. So I gotta tell you about Aaron and I's fine experience at Las Vegas at CES. So Las Vegas, especially the convention center, is super, super expensive because they realize you're trapped.
Oh, God.
And Aaron really wanted a beer because we kind of had a 2-hour break in between interviews.
Right.
And we go to this vendor. It's like, how much for a beer? A can of beer. It was kind of a big can, not super big. That you probably get at a grocery store for $2 to $3. $7.
I'm sorry, what?
$7
for a can of beer at Reno?
No, Las Vegas.
Or Las Vegas? What the? I'm sorry, but what the fuck?
In Vegas, everything is expensive. If you're a tourist.
No, that's true.
If you're
that's true. Everything in Vegas is
everything is expensive because, to be honest, it's kind of like Disneyland, except a lot worse.
Yeah, Disneyland is kind of so. I know, Anthony. I know you've been to Disneyland. Emily, have you ever been to Disneyland?
Yeah, when I was 8 years old.
Okay, but in your teens or older?
No.
Okay, because I went there with Quinn when I was 17, he was 16, and I remember being in the park and a bottle of water being more expensive than an ice cream cone, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this planet, this world?
You have nowhere else to go, and before going into the park, they make sure you don't have any food or drinks.
You have to smuggle it in. Fucking smuggle it across the Disney border.
Yeah, you have to do that everywhere, though. You have to smuggle shit across.
Their justification, I think, is for the safety of
the park. Yeah.
Yes. Because Disneyland is very high profile, so I'm pretty sure they're doing that for the safety of the park.
I'm just glad movie theaters don't.
But at the same time, because they confiscate all your liquids, much like an airplane, you pretty much have no way of. Basically, there's no such thing as a cheap day at Disney unless you eat a huge amount beforehand and happen to live locally.
Yeah, I know. What was it? The thing is, PAX or really any con, you can bring your own food. You just don't want to.
Yeah.
And then I'm just glad movie theaters don't check your bags or shit like that, because movie theaters
smuggle bottles of soda or bags of candy in your bag and have them not give a shit. Okay.
That's fantastic. I remember every time I go to the movie theaters, I go in with a backpack. And
I always bring my purse with me, and I have a bottle of Coke or a bag of Sour Patch Kids, and I'm golden.
Yeah, see, last time I went to an actual theater, it was for The Dark Knight Rises. With my friend Tori, and in her purse she brought 3 bottles of water, Coke, and popcorn, and in mine I brought a just massive bag of M&Ms.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's fuck you, movie theater, and your $10 small bag of popcorn. No, Anthony. Oh, so I'm not sure. So have you guys ever done this at the movie? They like pay for one movie and then like proceed to go to like 8.
No.
No, you've never done that where you just well, we're already in the theater and like there's no real way they're gonna catch us. Let's just bounce around to a couple other movies.
Nope.
No.
Never done that.
Oh wow. Anthony.
Nope.
What? I'm the only person here who's done that? Really?
Because when I go to see a movie, I plan to see only one movie that day because after the movie, I'm very hungry and want to go to Denny's. So I don't want to stick around. I don't want to stick around.
Thank you, Anthony.
I don't want to stick around for another 2.5 hours while I'm starving.
Well, see, that was where the whole bringing food in the bag comes from.
Even though the plan of the day was to go out to eat anyways.
Okay, well, I don't always plan to go out to eat after a movie.
Well, I do. Because let's be honest, it's like freaking the movie goes from like 10 to 2 or something like that.
That's a really long movie.
That is a really long movie.
You have to be aware that I show up kind of early. Okay, you have to be aware that I show up kind of early, and they play a lot of theatrical trailers.
That's true.
And then proceed to the actual movie, which could be 2.5 hours long if you were watching something like Lord of the Rings. So. And
then you have to stay for the entire credits to see if there's something afterwards, and if not, then you just sat through 5 minutes of credits going, what the fuck?
Does anyone else do that? Because I thought Tori and I were the only two people who ever did that.
Yeah, I sit around after the credits, and I'm like, of course they're going to be. There might be enough pricks to put something at the super, super, super end of the DTS Dolby Surround Sound technological, licensing notes.
Yeah, because Tori and I went to The Dark Knight Rises with a couple other people, and the movie ends, and we're just sitting there watching the credits and talking, and like everyone that we went there with is leaving. They're like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" We're like, "Waiting for the end of the credits." God.
Oh no, I do it too. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I went and saw Ride Along with my friends and their mom, and we stayed through the entire credits. And we were the only 4 there by the end.
So, what I gotta say, one amazing experience is to me when you have a movie theater to yourself. Like, it doesn't happen often, but I remember our friend Joe, before getting shipped off into the Navy, we would decide to go see Wreck-It Ralph, like the day before he got shipped out. And we went at 1 in the afternoon on a Monday.
And you guys were the only people there.
Yep, it was just us, just our group of friends, which was great because we're all horrible to watch a movie with because we all talk about it as it's going on.
Right.
Which, I get why you would be mad at that, but we're not the only ones who do it, so I don't know. Hey, this podcast is about video games. I know that's a surprise.
Yeah,
shocking.
We're just talking a bunch of shit right now. What the hell?
Well, that's how we usually started out. Is like, yeah, how was your week? Anthony, how was your week?
It's been tiring.
Yeah, mine too, man. Like, last night was the first night I could actually, sleep in and not have to go to a temp agency or an interview first thing in the morning or send out resumes. And I slept so good. Like, my bed was... It was almost like being on that zero-gravity mattress at CES. Not quite that good, but damn close.
God, I wish I had that.
Yeah, no, when we were down in Las Vegas, we got to check out this Serta mattress that, it would read your body weight and height, and then it would make it so it felt like you were floating.
That sounds
costs you $13,000 if a mattress is worth that much.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So that's what, 2.5 semesters of college at our university?
Yeah.
All right, great. Get her done. Yeah, I don't know. So, Emily, how's your week?
I don't know if I feel very comfortable being in zero gravity on a bed, though, because I actually kind of like feeling like I'm on a bed. Instead of this freaky sensation that I'm possibly falling out of the sky.
Or floating.
I mean, I know falling out of the sky is gravity, but still, it's like you're floating, and so you would shock yourself awake thinking that you're just falling off your bed or something.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. That's how, like, has that happened to anyone else where you're like having a dream with a falling sensation? You wake up like, oh.
4 times.
Ever, or just the last night, or
no, ever.
You keep count. All right, whatever.
Shut up.
I was like,
actually, no. It's probably more than that. It's 4 times that I can remember within the last 6 months. Maybe a year.
So you keep tracking time frames. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Anthony. I started dieting again.
Have you?
Yeah. Lost 3 pounds so far.
Everybody's dieting. Oh my god.
Well, it's the new year. They all make resolutions to lose weight.
I don't believe in making resolutions.
Me either. I just say...
Thank you.
I just make something really easy and vague. Be a better person this year and be more successful this year. Done. Easy.
I don't really like...
Vague.
I guess it's
lots of ways to be more successful this year.
I guess it's the same thing as a resolution, but I have goals. You know, so I have a goal for the year.
People I don't believe in resolutions because if you're effectively making a promise that you possibly can't keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, be more successful this year. Many ways to accomplish that. So, keeping it vague makes it easier.
Yeah, my goals for the year were like lose 50 pounds. That was one. I'd like to get at least into my fat football shape. Because the coaches at different positions, they had me at different weights. The heaviest I was 240 when I was playing guard and tackle. Mm-hmm. And then, so I'd like to get at least down to, like, healthy fat man.
Healthy fat man.
Yeah, kind of like Shaquille O'Neal.
Kind of like Shaq, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Sort of makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm a very stout man, like 5'9", and when I'm healthy and building muscle, 210 pounds. That is a tree stump. Is what that is. And that makes sense because when I played football and I got the ball, it was like tackling a tree stump. That's speaking of football. Emily's Seahawks are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So are my Broncos.
Kiss my ass, Manning.
Gonna throw 6 touchdowns, baby. You know it.
Yeah, more like a pick 6.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. I hope you got 3 Richard Shermans. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, actually, 3 Richard Shermans is terrifying, if I'm honest. Because you have the biggest cornerback dick club in the country. Really. I'm
not even going to get into it with this.
I honestly don't like Richard Sherman. I'll just leave it at that, really.
I'm not going to get into this argument with you. I'm just going to...
But the problem...
Sherman may be the best corner right now, but the Broncos have the best corner ever. So, Yeah, age just caught up to him a little bit, but Champ is still amazing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The last time the Seahawks played in MetLife Stadium was against Peyton Manning's brother, where we shut him out.
Okay, well, yeah, that's Peyton Manning's brother. Peyton Manning's brother throws, like, more interceptions in a week or in a set of weeks.
Peyton's brother is not Peyton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you could argue the Super Bowl thing, but Peyton Manning has not had... Up until... I would say this is the best team Peyton Manning's played on.
I mean, it's just
since the Colts in, early 2000?
Yeah, like, he has been on fucking just horrible teams most of his life. I mean,
it's like Eli Manning's not Peyton Manning. Proof Eli Manning still has more Super Bowl rings than Peyton Manning, which is kind of funny considering Peyton Manning is a better player.
Yeah, well, Eli Manning got carried by that defense. There's no...
He did. And he decided not to screw up ultra bad for a little bit.
Yeah, so he's like Trent Dilfer, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer is worse, because at least Eli Manning can do some really cool things.
Yeah, Eli Manning has made some really good plays over his career. He's not as good as his brother. Yeah. Like, everyone likes to crap on Peyton Manning's, the fact they has a, 500 record in the playoffs, but I'm like, yeah, but who was he playing with? That's a factor. Yeah. I don't know. I do like certain players on the Seahawks. I love Marshawn Lynch. Dude's
Beast.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, though. The Seahawks, have the only, and this is a true fact, we have the only legally deaf offensive player on our team.
Yeah, you're fullback, right?
I think he's a fullback. He's either fullback or offensive tackle.
Yeah, I want to say he's a fullback because I remember seeing pictures of him.
He is a fullback.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of that guy. Yeah, no way that guy's an offensive tackle.
That's true.
Fullbacks, like I said, most fullbacks, which are slowly going extinct in the NFL, have that tree stump body type I was talking about.
At 5 foot something, 2 something, broad shoulder,
all muscle
physique. Yeah.
Oh God. So yeah, I don't know. Super Bowl's coming up. It's gonna be a good game, I think.
Yeah.
I don't really see.
Don't spoil it for me.
Don't spoil it. Like, how would I spoil it?
I have to work on Super Bowl Sunday. Don't spoil it for me.
Hey, the advantages of being unemployed.
Oh man, the advantage of unemployed. I am so broke, but it's all worth it because the Super Bowl, I get to watch it. Really?
Most years really? I would say that sounds retarded. But this is the 1 year where I'm okay.
So the chances of losing your home is increased, but it's worth watching the Broncos possibly lose at the Super Bowl because anybody can win and lose, right?
Yeah, I'll go with that. Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the 1 year. Will you make an exception to it being crap because your Broncos are playing the Super Bowl? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? It's the last time I saw them in a Super Bowl. I was 8 years old, so
I'll say. I've been catching up on those posts. You were a kid when you watched them at the last Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was 8, so.
How old are you?
23.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so.
I was 6 when they went to Super Bowl.
Yeah, so. That tells you something. The last Super Bowl they were in, they kicked the crap out of the Falcons.
Yeah, because the Falcons suck.
Yeah, to be fair, they should have played the 98 Vikings, and that would have been a more competitive game.
Yeah, but we all know what happened. Oh, no, he missed the kick. No. Like, that will be forever. It's just like the Bills kicker who missed in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, whenever a kicker loses the game for you, you're just going to remember that shit forever. Especially when it's like a really close field goal.
Oh, yeah. Misses it by that much.
Yeah, like, oh, God. Yeah. I think that, like, one thing I will say about the Seahawks this year is they are a fun team to watch as far as their defense goes.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, yeah. Also, they are they are easily fall into the top 5 most overpowered Madden teams of all time. Like, I play a lot of Madden. I'm in the top 5% in the country of Madden players, and the Seahawks are fucking amazing in that game. I mean, it is...
Yeah, anytime you have a top team in the country, that does happen.
Yeah, but
last year,
you have a top defense in the country.
Oh.
Yeah, but not only are, like, the Niners, though, had, like, a hole in that, like, on that team, and, there's a difference between, like, a good Madden team and a good real-life team. Like, the 2004 Falcons were a so-so real-life team, but an amazing Madden team. They were horribly broken, so... The Seahawks kind of fall into that same category where they're a really good real-life team, but they're an almost broken Madden team. Because the game was not built for any team to have 3 of your corners be rated 80+, and both your safeties at 90.
Wow.
So, Whatever. So yeah. Hey, video games. We should get back to that, eh?
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 God.
I am not Canadian at all.
I'm not gonna get into that.
Are you Canadian?
Oh, it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah, you are. I remember you're Canadian. Yeah, you're like Canadian Irish, right?
Ish, but yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Italian. If my last name didn't make it easy and obvious enough to find that out.
Yeah.
Anthony, what are you? I forgot. You're Chinese Vietnamese?
Yes.
Boom! See? Oh! I know my friends' nationalities. Quinn's German English. Oh. Alright, well, anyway, we should talk about games. Hey, Anthony, you play anything new?
Not really. I just made more progress in FF14 moving forward.
Emily, just so you know, we banned MMOs unless new content is out for them, like the expansion pack.
And even then, we have to really dumb it down so the average man can understand.
Yeah, and then
because I mean, it's almost like the equivalent of me talking about the exact specifications of the motor of the engine in my car, which no one on this podcast would understand. But, anyways, yeah. So basically, I just played more MMOs, nothing new there, and I made more progress in Wind Waker. I have just started the Earth Temple.
So that's the one
which involves you going with the little bird girl.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm probably 70% there. To the end.
That I remember that place had a really fun puzzle that involved mirrors.
Yeah.
Right at the end, and I had a blast playing it. And the boss fight was really cool too. Yeah, you played that game on a new monitor though, didn't you?
I did. It's like almost 3 years old now, but it is a native 1080p monitor. What I used to play Wind Waker on was my computer 1600 by 900 resolution, and what it was essentially a 1080p signal downscale down to fit the screen. So not every pixel lined up perfectly, so it's a little blurry-ish. So now that I have a 1080p computer monitor, every pixel lines up just fine, and wow, is it beautiful! And sharp, and pretty, and colorful. Yeah, the game is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, that game looks goddamn fantastic. Yeah, I really enjoyed. Wind Waker is obviously my favorite Zelda, far and away actually. But man, I'm trying to remember where I was in my Wii U save. That's right. I'm halfway through the second dungeon. I'm going through that game really slowly because I played it a bunch on the GameCube, and I just kind of am taking my time with it on the Wii U. I think the main reason with that is because I just know everything about it, so I'm not, like, oh, I gotta play more of this, gotta play more.
I would totally be okay with playing Twilight Princess fifth time? I don't remember how many times I finished it.
Long game. It's short compared to Zelda for most Zelda games, but still. I
was really surprised that I was already about 70% done when I thought I was about 40.
Yeah, you only have, I think, 3 dungeons to go in that stupid Triforce quest.
Yeah, it was just how should I put it? A lot of that game's length is basically you sailing across the ocean for all eternity looking for pieces of heart, which I pretty much gave up on almost immediately because I don't want to sail to a billion different islands only to find out that I have to hunt down a billion different treasure charts.
That's kind of been my problem with Assassin's
So I gave up
Creed.
on that. I gave up on the pieces of heart really quickly so I don't have much health.
So that's kind of my problem with Assassin's Creed. Is like Assassin's Creed 4. I talked about it earlier, and I said like my complaint is it feels like it's been 2 games mashed together, and like anytime you're doing Assassin's crap, it's just boring and hard to control and not fun. But anytime you're doing pirate stuff, I'm just unbelievably entertained. and there's kind of no middle. And then also all the side stuff is, well, a lot of collecting and a lot of sailing, and after a while, and there's a big grind to get to the point where you can finally fight the legendary ships. So I'm pretty much just giving up on it, and I'm probably going to trade it in towards my pre-order of Infamous Second Son.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for that game. Like, oh
yeah,
god,
that's
so awesome.
Yeah, I have. I traded in my Vita copy of Walking Dead to put a pre-order down on it. So I'm probably gonna. So right now they're offering a special deal where you can get an extra $10 for all PS4 games. So I'm probably gonna trade in. Assassin's Creed and get $30 towards Infamous.
Yeah. Actually, Brandon made a pre-order for the limited edition originally, but he upgraded to the collector's edition because it came with a bunch of extra stuff, like Delson's beanie and all the pins that he wears and all this stuff. And I'm just like, dude.
Yeah, right now I'm kind of strapped for cash, so I'm just going for the game. But
just going for the game itself.
Yeah, but should I get a job, a decent job? I shouldn't say just a job because $8.25 an hour doesn't exactly cover shit. But if I get a decent job, like $10 an hour more between now and then, I will definitely look into the collector's edition. I loved Infamous 1 and 2. They were two of my favorite games of the previous console generation. So
and the DLC to Infamous 2 Festival of Blood, that was pretty legit.
That was rad. Yeah, that was really cool. So I don't know, like that. It seems like they actually had a demo at CES. And my first response to not being at CES is that's a bummer that we don't get to cover it. But fuck yes, I don't have to be in Las Vegas. And then I responded with then Brandon sent me a text with like, "Hey, are you down there? They have demos of Infamous Second Son," and I'm just like, "Damn it." Oh well. Yeah, game's out in like a month anyway, and there's plenty of 2 months and almost like a month and a half. And
comes out in March.
It comes out like middle of March.
Yeah.
So the game's out a month and a half, and there's gonna be plenty of stuff to play in between. So, so have you guys seen the current release schedule for the year?
I've caught a glimpse at it. I know Second Son's out in March. I believe Destiny is supposed to come out sometime later. Yeah, in September. So more than likely, that's going to be playable at PAX Prime.
Yeah, well, it's coming out like what, the weekend after? So
I think so. Yeah.
That's the case of where if like I'm at PAX Prime, I'm just going to immediately ignore Destiny because I'm like, whatever, the game's out in 9 days.
Yeah. I know that was the case with a lot of the games that were at PAX this year. It's like, not like it matters. It's going to be out within the next week or two.
Yeah, so the stuff that you want to play was on the new systems. Like I would have waited. I would have waited 3 hours to play Titanfall straight up. Like that.
There were huge lines for those games. Like there were lines for Titanfall. There was like lines going up the wazoo for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It was just crazy.
Part of me is glad I missed that shit, and part of me kind of is bummed out that I didn't go.
Yeah. Paige, where the hell were you?
Where was I? I was in training for a job that, like, I was in training for a job, so I actually had the money to go, but couldn't get the time off to go. So,
Man.
So, yeah, no, Quinn, and then if you're wondering where Quinn was...
No, I know where Quinn was. He had a legit excuse.
Both of us had a legit excuse.
Yours was kind of bullshit.
Well...
It was legitimate, but it was bullshit legitimate.
You can talk to the fine folks at AT&T about that.
Oh, fuck them. Never mind.
It's like, oh wait, I have that cell phone provider.
Yeah, I take that back. I do too.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So yeah, but the kind of neat part about missing all that stuff and missing playing and like they had tours around the country with all this next gen stuff, and Anthony and I personally didn't go to E3, so all we did is like home base recording and reporting on it. So like actually not getting to see or touch any of the next gen stuff until it was in my home was actually really cool. So
Right.
that was kind of a nice little. Like, even though I had to wait and miss a lot of cool stuff, it ended up being somewhat worth it. Yes, but the release schedule for the rest of the year. So this upcoming week, we got Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z and the prettier version of Tomb Raider for the new consoles.
Oh yeah, I heard. Brandon was actually telling me that the graphics for Tomb Raider on PlayStation 4. No offense to Microsoft or Xbox or anything. But
no, we make fun of them regularly on the show.
You do? Oh, good.
Go right ahead.
Well, no, because Microsoft's headquarters are based out in Kirkland, Washington.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like I said, no offense, but if you guys still make fun of them, then I might as well. But the graphics on the PS4's Tomb Raider are a hell of a lot better than the graphics on the Xbox One.
I've seen the versions that they've shown of this, and it's not necessarily the visuals, it's the frame rate. The Xbox version runs at 30 frames, while the PlayStation version runs at 60.
Like I said, beautiful.
Yeah, which I have a high-end laptop, and Anthony has a equivalent desktop. I mean, Anthony, what's my GPU? Like 5% faster, maybe?
Yeah, about 5% faster.
And I run Tomb Raider at 30 frames, so on max. So, the fact that the PlayStation's doing 60, that is damn nice.
I don't know if it's like exactly max, but that's still pretty good though.
Yeah. Then
the hell?
That is my cell phone. Oh god. But then in the beginning of February we got Fable Anniversary. So for those of you who enjoyed the original Fable, your version. I don't know. I still have my original copy of Fable, and I have no desire for an HD version.
Yeah. I've never played Fable, but I hear it's pretty nice.
2 is the best one. Like, if you're gonna play them, you should play 2.
For sure.
Although I do enjoy, one of my fonder memories of Fable 3 is I beat the game and I was just starting to I was like, okay, what do I do now? Oh yeah, become a fucking just the wealthiest man ever and own all the land I could possibly purchase. And then I was like, hey, maybe I should go say hi to one of my friends. So I log into his town and his world, and I join his party, and the first words that come out of his mouth are, "Sarge, marry me." I'm like,
okay.
All right, sure. Let's get hitched. So he had a female character, so we had a daughter.
Aww.
So, yeah. And for some reason, I could not get a son from either of my wives in that game.
Okay, I missed what game you're talking about, so I'm confused.
We're talking about Fable.
Fable. Okay.
Fable 3. I ended up with like 5 daughters.
King
You didn't
Henry.
have more than those 2. Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't have more than those 2 wives, did you?
No, it was just 2 wives.
Right, because if anything, it would have been a Fable 3 version of the Tudors.
It's like a Fable 3 King Henry edition.
No sons, only daughters.
That'd be the subtitle. All right. So, next up is we have Final Hallway Monorail 13 for the returns for the 3rd time, or Final Fantasy 13-3, whichever you prefer. The high def pretty versions of Rayman Legends, Earth Defense Force 2025, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Thief.
Oh, dude, that game looked so good at PAX.
Thief did look cool. Like that when they've shown a Thief, it looks neat. So I know we talk a lot of shit about Microsoft, but at least Microsoft.
This is probably one good thing that's coming out of Microsoft.
Well, no, it's coming out on Sony too. It's just we can't do. So I only have a PS4 right now, and I have no idea when I'm getting an Xbox One. It was going to be tax
if ever.
Well, I know I'm going to get one because Killer Instinct, but it's just a matter of when. Because I thought about getting with my tax return, but I changed my mind on that. I was like, well, what do I want to play? Killer Instinct. As much as I want to play it, I can wait. Titanfall, my computer is good enough to run Titanfall, so I'm gonna just say no. Next up is but we can't. So we do a weekly series, Emily. I'm not sure if you're aware. I know our fans are aware. Called 60-Minute Access, where we demo an hour of a new release. We can't do any PS4 games right now.
Well, no, because there aren't very many that are out.
Well, not only that, it's because the system, they're going to take it off eventually, they've said, within the first year, but as of right now, it has HDCP protection, which means that we have no way, that means it blocks all recording from capture devices. Also, there's wind going on in someone's background.
I think that's probably me, but there isn't any wind happening here.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's nothing here.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm hearing things.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Unless I'm breathing heavily into my mic without being aware.
Okay, well, so for everyone asking why we haven't done the next gen versions of Assassin's Creed or Killzone or Madden, it's because we don't have an Xbox One and PS4 has locked out us using our capture card. So
I thought, how were you able to videotape all of those plays that you did when you were playing Madden?
That's a system feature.
That's built in.
Oh, it's a system feature. Okay.
You can upload to Facebook, but you can't exactly export it as a normal file.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically they put quite a leash on what you can do with what you're recording on the system.
Right.
You can and also you can stream to Twitch if you want. But
right.
So, I mean, thank you for watching all my fun Madden stuff that I post.
Oh, yeah. I love watching Broncos kicking some ass.
Pretty much.
In Madden.
Oh, okay. No, it's okay.
But when it comes to actually hearing Peyton Manning yell Omaha, God, neutral zone infractions up the wazoo.
No, I actually posted a screenshot. I think it was the 22nd, I want to say, or 23rd. I played a guy online. I beat him 45-14. I post this. Yeah, hold on. I'll post a link on the Facebook chat.
I'll probably find it later.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was playing as the Steelers, and I ended up winning 45-14. I had 335 passing yards to his 209. 65 rushing yards to his 9. I took away the ball 3 times. He took it away 0.
Well, yeah.
And I had 14 minutes, 45 seconds of possession to his 9 minutes, 15. So, wow. So yeah, I basically dominated in every facet of the game.
Yeah. I would say, how many times did you catch an interception?
I think
passed, and one of your defensive players caught it as an interception.
I think we got 2 picks and 1 fumble recovery because we got 3 picks.
Beautiful.
No, I'm in the top 5% in the world at that game.
Hey.
If PAX ever have a Madden tournament, watch out.
Yeah, I highly doubt that because League of Legends is still big.
Oh, well, I'm just talking a small one, because PAX has small tournaments for all kinds of games.
Oh, yeah, they had the Halo tourney. That's right.
They had Halo, they had Counter-Strike. I know in
And then they had all of those Wii tournaments, too.
Yeah, I know.
My boyfriend was part of that.
Nice. I know in 2012 they had what was it? Mario. They were supposed to have Mario Kart Double Dash, and Quinn and I were going to compete in that because we love Double Dash. But
I mean, Double Dash is one of my favorites too. So.
I think Double Dash is the best Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But then they couldn't find enough copies because that game was actually kind of rare apparently. So so they decided to switch to the Wii, and we're like, fuck this. No. We wanted co-op Double Dash, son of a bitch.
Yeah, they had little tournaments in the Nintendo area, and I think my boyfriend got up to Final Four.
For what game?
Of one of the I can't remember, but he got into one tournament and got into the Final Four,
Nice.
Which was quite impressive. I think it was Mario Kart.
That is impressive because, as Anthony and Theo found out at Game Expo, Mario Kart is just bullshit. Like, seriously. No, we are at Game Expo and we did 3-player Mario Kart 64, and our friend Theo is leading the entire race. He is kicking our asses. And in the last, 20 seconds on the last lap, we just rape him with power-ups, and he...
Bam, bam, bam!
Yeah, that's why Mario Kart is just bullshit. Yeah, same thing with Mario Party. We actually recently did 60-minute access of Mario Party 4.
I saw that!
Yeah.
Super funny.
Yeah, you have to see us ruin our friendship. Yeah, Quinn, Tori, Anthony, and I, at the mall, we went to the mall after that, and just all of us were bitter.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, we did Mario Strikers last week. So. Oh
yeah, haven't watched that one.
Yeah, that's just us playing Mario Soccer. Anthony and Bremen started whooping I and Greg pretty bad, but then we came back. And then we played.
We never really resolved it because it was officially a tie.
It was?
Really?
Yeah, we never really finished the best of 5, actually. We just tied it up and then just stopped and decided to go and face off against some ridiculously overpowered computers.
Yeah, we put the game on the hardest setting against the best team, and we used the other best team and got beat 16-2.
Hey, we scored 2 points. Twice as many as we were playing
off one goal.
But Greg's comics were just really funny. Because it's like, we are women.
Oh my god.
It was fun. The next one we're probably going to do of those is, they got that new 4-player Dragon Ball Z game coming out, and the way that I've looked into it, and it's kind of like an MMO, the way they have it set up. So there's someone who's up front fighting, then there's ranged people, and then there's support. So I'm really looking forward to you, Bremen, and I, and one other person trying to communicate and failing miserably.
Provided Brandon gets a PS4.
Yeah, so...
Soon. I mean, he said he was going to get one with Second Son coming out in March, so...
Yeah.
Maybe when he gets his tax returns.
Yeah.
Then we'll see.
I know we're going to record the 6
people ever talk about is tax returns, tax returns, tax returns.
Anthony, it's because the government is giving us back money. At least us, because we're broke. Okay? And I'm actually going to use... And I figured out what I'm probably going to use my tax return on. Which, part of it's going to go to a new router. Because my yeah, fun things. And then probably going to have my car tuned up a little bit.
Yay!
Don't get excited for that.
No, dude. Having your car fixed, that's awesome. Because then you can go places.
It already runs.
It runs, just not very well.
That is, by the way, that is a quote we need to get put on a t-shirt. Having your car fixed is awesome because then you can go
go places. It's true, though. I mean, you think about it, unless you live within, obviously a big city in the downtown area, you pretty much kind of need a car to get to places reasonably quickly.
Yeah, but my car runs, it's just that I want it tuned up a little bit. Then if there's anything left over, I'll probably blow it on games or, I don't know. Probably put it away towards PAX.
Yeah.
Or pay my cell phone bill for 3 months, so I don't have to worry about it for a while. One of those.
Yeah.
One
of those two.
I don't know, Anthony. What would you do if you were getting $500 to $600?
I'd save it.
Save it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you never know when you need it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I not like paying my cell phone bill up for 3 months seems like a pretty good idea. That seems
Yeah,
like the
but
best
yeah,
idea.
I just kind of like to save things because you never know when you're gonna be in an emergency and need it.
That's true. True enough. Like when my car's transmission blew out last year, that was fun.
Yeah, stuff like that is why I like to save my money because you kind of want a cushion in case things go really bad.
Oh,
Emergency fund.
Hey, I live the Nathan Drake life, yo.
Hence why you probably should save your tax return money to account for the Nathan Drake lifestyle,
Yeah.
minus the explosions and things collapsing constantly.
I'm working on the explosions part. Don't you worry.
You touch my car and then the door just blows off.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be happening. Back to the new releases for the year, though. I'm gonna go up to the end of March. Thief's coming out. Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, Castlevania God of War 2, South Park: The Stick of Truth,
Super awesome.
Dark Souls 2, Titanfall, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zero, Final Fantasy X HD, Infamous Second Son, Drive Club, Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasm. That is a damn good first quarter of the year.
That is a damn good first quarter of the year, I gotta say.
Also, for those of you wondering who is reviewing what in March, because March is crazy, Anthony's doing Metal Gear, Bremen's doing Dark Souls 2, Nick is doing Titanfall, I'm doing Infamous.
Yes!
Why yes on that?
Because it's Infamous, and Infamous is awesome. You even said so yourself.
I love Infamous.
There you go.
And
you can share that love more with Second Son.
All right. They should maybe they'll even go as far and release DLC for that game. That'd be nice.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm actually really interested in Dark Souls because they say they're making it slightly more accessible.
Slightly, which means you would now defeat the second boss.
Yeah,
instead of just the first boss.
No, the third boss, because Demon Souls I beat the first boss.
Yes.
Dark Souls I could get to the second. So
get to the second or beat the second.
Beat the second, barely.
Okay, barely.
But so maybe this third game I could get to the third boss and almost make it worth buying. Oh god. I really love the idea behind those games. And like 16-year-old Bronson would play the living crap out of those games. But 23-year-old Bronson, he ain't got time for that. I can't have I just don't have the lifestyle of where I can play a game that actively tortures me until I understand. Because that's basically what those games do.
Actively torture your living soul.
Just like die.
Yeah, and if you die, they take all your money away.
Dark Souls 2 is Dark Souls is a little easier about it, and a little better about it, and they have better tutorials. Like, I actually found Dark Souls to be fair, versus Demon Souls, which was just mean.
Respectable, but mean.
But mean.
The respectable meanie on the corner.
What that game? That game got second or third when we...
I believe it got second, because I wasn't there to debate the top 10, so Joe pushed it up to 2.
Yeah, and I really liked the idea behind it, so I was just like, yeah, fuck it. Demon Souls sounds rad. And then, like, Uncharted 2 was obviously number one that year.
Obviously.
I don't know, Anthony, out of our Game of the Year debates, which do you think was the meanest number one debate? Like, when we got down to the final 2 or 3?
Let's see. In 2010, we had Mass Effect and Cataclysm.
That one was pretty bad.
That was before TGA. In 2011, it was between Portal and Uncharted. Uncharted 3.
Zelda was also in there for that one.
2012 was Borderlands and The Walking Dead, and then last year was The Last of Us and Super Mario and Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
The meanest one was probably debating Uncharted 3 and Portal 2.
Yeah, that one was rough.
Second meanest, yeah, like I remember because that was the one Nick was most insistent that Uncharted 3 was awesome, and we agreed except for the part where they like to drag on fights for way too long and just drive, yeah.
Yeah.
And the second worst I can remember is probably Mass Effect and Cataclysm.
That one was, yeah.
Mass Effect and Cataclysm was really hard because, Bronson, you were in the Cataclysm camp. Aaron was in the Mass Effect 2 camp, but I had a problem because Mass Effect 2, I personally freaking love Mass Effect 2, but I also at the time also liked Warcraft, and I highly respected Warcraft. So I was kind of the guy who was stuck in the middle.
So one thing about that year that like Aaron occasionally brings up, and a lot of people may bring up, is like, oh, Warcraft was an expansion, not a full game. And like, okay,
we actually argued that point, and against that point too. They did the 1 to 60 stuff, so if you were new to World of Warcraft and started at level 1, you were seeing new things anyways.
Yeah, and
like basically the only thing that they didn't change was Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. Like 1 to 60, if you played it brand new and didn't buy Cataclysm at all, you were still getting new things.
Yeah, and my argument, and here's the thing, had Cataclysm not been counted, like we ruled it not a factor, not a game in it, I would have pushed Mario Galaxy 2 so unbelievably hard. But my compromises was to get Cataclysm to the top, I will put it below God of War and Mass Effect. This sacrifice needs to be made. I just love how we got to the top 2, though, and Joe was just like, peace out, fuck this. Because he didn't like either game. He did not like Mass Effect or WoW. So he was just like, fuck it, I don't care. So... Oh, God. Yeah, Emily, if you get the chance, you should listen to our Game of the Year debate sometime. Those are always hell.
I was going to say, did you post the last year's Game of the Year debate on my Facebook page by any chance?
Year.
I think I did. We recorded every year, and I know I sent you the video this year and last year.
Yeah, you did send me the video, and I think you sent my brother one too.
Yeah, like our top 10 this year, I think was pretty spot on. Like we had a really good top 10 this year.
I'll have to watch that later.
I don't agree with the number 9, but fuck it. I like. It was Aaron's number 1 game, and everyone's number 1 got onto the list. That's something that kind of has to happen every year, because otherwise someone is going to leave incredibly pissed off. So
did anyone leave incredibly pissed off?
No, everyone's number 1 made it onto the top 10 somewhere.
Somewhere on that list.
My number 1 was number 10. Anthony's was number 2, or no, number 1. Nick's was number 1. Kyrie's was number 3, and Aaron's was number 9.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how that worked out. Man. So, Anthony, you play anything else? Go back to the original root of this.
Not really. It's just trying to clear out my backlog a little bit. Finish Wind Waker. I believe that's like the only significant game in my backlog. I mean, the only other thing I could think of is Shin Megami Tensei 4, but I haven't played that in months.
Yeah, mine's pretty clean too. Like, I'm looking at my backlog.
There's some games that I've taken off my backlog because I've kind of decided, you know what, I don't have any motivation to finish this game, so I'm just going to assume I'm done with it.
That's pretty much how I am. Like I realize that Final Fantasy 13, it's just the dream is dead. It's not going to be beaten. Lollipop Chainsaw, same thing. What else is in there that's not going to happen? Shadows of the Dam, don't have really the motivation. And that's pretty much it from the major games. Right now, I'm trying to 100% Mario 3, or not 100%, but beat all the worlds in Mario 3D World. So
am I. It's a little difficult.
Oh yeah, you got a Wii U?
No. Oh, I have Super Mario 3D for my 3DS.
Oh, the 3DS. That game is also fucking hard. So, I actually think that one's harder than 3D World. But but I am playing 3D World right now, and oh god, I'm in this last string of worlds, and I said it on other podcasts, but I'm glad the Wii U does not have live streaming the way the PS4 does. Where
Oh yeah.
Because I would live stream out Mario, and it would just be a stream of 2 hours of profanity.
Like, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit.
Have you guys seen the last level for 3D World? I saw someone speed run it, and I was like, how the fuck
is this possible?
Yeah. Oh god, just like I could not believe the way this guy was running this. Anyway,
I actually do have a Wii U.
Oh right.
Yeah, we have Wonderful 101.
That game is great.
And Wind Waker HD on it, and Injustice. Injustice is so good.
Yeah, we rented Injustice on PS3 and did a 60-minute access of it. That was a good game. I enjoyed playing as Superman because I like punching people through the atmosphere.
I don't know. I kind of like fighting as Flash.
Flash is good. The world punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have Injustice on my phone. That's why.
Okay. Let's see. I know for Wii U, I own Wind Waker HD and Mario, and then I basically, when I am not super broke, I'm planning to pick up Wonderful 101. I rented it, had a blast with it.
It's really fun. It's really hard, but it's really fun.
What systems do you have right now? Because at your house at least, because I don't.
PS3, Wii U, and we have 2 3DSs in the house.
I need to add you on PS3. But...
You can have my. Actually, it's Brandon that has it.
Oh, I already have him.
Yeah, so I mean, if and when I ever get a PS3, then yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he's on my account. I'm trying to catch him in trophy level, the bastard.
Yeah, he's actually taking a break right now because he's playing Zelda on his Wii U.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. I'll eventually catch him. Don't worry. Especially that Last of Us DLC is coming. Metal Gear's coming. Yeah, Infamous is going to be a hard one because he's going to get that. He has that one he's actually going to pick up. So.
Yeah.
So I played more Mario, tried to 100% that. Been back in the game that shall not be named. And then, what else? Oh, I started Final Fantasy IX on my Vita.
Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, that game is great. I was talking with Anthony today, like, a lot of that game is so good it actually almost seems modern. Like if that game got, better graphics and voice acting, I would think it was a brand new game.
I always felt that Final Fantasy IX was the Final Fantasy game that no one ever talked about. No one ever talked about, because you think about it, you think of the games surrounding it. You've got Final Fantasy VII, which everyone continues to completely gush over. You had Final Fantasy VIII with its love story and whatever, and then you had Final Fantasy X, which was, the pioneer Final Fantasy game for the PS2. So 9 just kind of sat in a really awkward position where it's just the one that people never talk about.
So let me tell you right now, I love Final Fantasy VII, but it's horribly overrated. And 2, everyone looks like they're Popeye the Sailor Man.
Because of the big arms and it's the graphics, man.
Cloud eats his spinach.
Oh wait, he does, doesn't he?
I don't know. It's a fun game, but like visually, it looks bad. It's poorly translated. It, just so much about that game.
But the emotions.
But Final Fantasy VI is better, and
But emotions and someone getting stabbed, and we all remember that, right? Right.
Yes.
I feel as though that game came out.
The death of Aerith.
I think a lot of people who never played JRPGs played that game, and
I kind of actually have the same impression when it comes to Skyrim, actually. Because you think about it, a lot of people say, oh man, there's so much to do, it's so open, and you can do anything you want. And I noticed that people say that a lot about the first time they play an open world game. Like, for me, that was Oblivion. And for you, it was probably Warcraft.
Probably EverQuest, but Warcraft was the first one where I had my own account. So yeah, probably.
And then you have people that's just like, oh, Skyrim's the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, so how many of these people actually played Oblivion?
Yeah,
chances are they probably haven't. Because I loved Oblivion because it was like the first time ever in which I get to walk on something so wide open, 16 square miles of it. I can understand the Oblivion fan liking Skyrim more because Skyrim plays that much better. But at the same time, everyone's like, "Oh, there's so much to do," and I'm like, "But it has been done before. It's just snow everywhere." And being Dragonborn isn't as cool as I hoped because all you're doing is you're just yelling at a bunch of dragons to make a landing. It's like air traffic control. Yo, get out of the sky! You're gonna crash into another dragon. Okay, we'll land. So you kill the dragon.
But like Final Fantasy VII, like I think that was a lot of people's first experience with a game like that, because it was really heavily marketed. Like, I mean, that game had a bigger marketing budget than any other game of its time. It was...
To this day, it still has a budget bigger than most games.
Yeah, and, and it got a lot of people on JRPGs. But if you played Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger, you would say both of those games are way better. And then...
I have Final Fantasy VI.
You should play it. It's really good.
Wait, was it known as Final Fantasy III in Japan?
No, it's known as Final Fantasy III in America.
Oh, it's Final Fantasy III in America. Yeah, I have that then. Yeah. I have it on my Wii U.
Yeah, you should play that. That game is rad.
I've actually been watching Julian play it, so...
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty rad.
We Let's played Chrono Trigger last year. That game was rad. Yeah. We're also only one of 3 Let's Plays of Penny Arcade 3 on the internet. So...
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Whatever reason, not a lot of people wanted to Let's Play that, so...
Their loss.
Yeah, that game was cool. Good humor. I liked the fact that there was what was the name of the class, Anthony, where you turned into a dinosaur?
I forgot.
But there was a class where all of its powers were just turned into dinosaur. And that was like that was our most used class too. Just turn into dinosaur, kill everything. Oh god. So yeah, I don't know. So I went back to Final Fantasy IX. Like I said, that game holds up really well. The music is so good.
Final Fantasy music in general is very good. It was still on that soundtrack, I think.
Yeah, and then I had this horrible idea that I should try and 100% Persona 4 Golden.
No. No. Just no.
And that is happening slowly but surely.
Slowly?
How
slow are we talking?
Like, if I do it by the end of this year, I'll be pretty surprised.
Oh, wow, that is pretty...
Yeah. Because, I have to 100% the compendium and read all the books, and also do the Margaret social link, which involves you fusing certain personas to make other personas with specific abilities. So, yeah, that's been a long, long, long process. If I do it by the end of my 3rd playthrough, I'd be surprised.
Hey.
Anything else? Yeah, not really. Just, like I said, lots of the, of that MMO that we're not allowed to talk about unless an expansion's out. So, that's that. What about you, Emily? What have you been playing? Anything recent?
I'm actually well on my way to 100%ing Lego Batman 2 for my 3DS. I'm at 80-85%, and I need to unlock a couple more characters.
Are you the hero that city deserves, but not the one it needs right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Great.
I actually beat Kingdom Hearts 3D a few months back.
That game was cool.
But I only beat 60% of it. But here's the thing.
You beat 100% Kyrie. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't mean Kyrie, our editor. I mean Kyrie as in, like, the character from Kingdom Hearts.
Actually, you don't get to play as her. This is 3D.
Oh.
This is Kingdom Hearts 3D. I wish we got to play as Kyrie.
That has to happen in 3, right?
It has to happen. Just to have her wield a keyblade, that would be so legit.
So I pitched this idea out to people recently because Disney now owns Star Wars,
and they own Marvel.
But I want to stick to Star Wars real quick. Okay. I can get to Marvel and go crazy with Marvel, but picture this in your brain: lightsaber keyblade.
Actually, I think I saw that in the article that you posted on Facebook of 5 or so things that we'd like to see in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars matchup, and I was like, that is an amazing idea. Lightsaber.
Oh, they'll fuck it up somehow.
Yeah, that does seem like Square Enix's MO.
Like they fucked up with every other thing?
No, yeah, like, frickin' Star Wars has not had a good track record. Basically, like, it is so bad right now that not even the original trilogy could save it.
Look, Anthony,
you think they're going to pull that off correctly without, George Lucas screwing it up somehow?
I am saving my Star Wars hatred for that rant I'm currently working on. So I will just say that if you followed this show for any decent amount of time, you know my angry opinion on Star Wars. Basically, please stop making Star Wars things. Please.
Man, you just pointed out to me that when the official books are worse than fanfiction. Now, fanfiction actually kind of read, and it can get really bad sometimes. Because most of them are... Because anybody can write a fanfiction story. Most of them don't really quite put enough thought into it, and they end up being usually somewhat shallow. But when you tell me that the official endorsed books are worse than fanfiction, I was like, oh my goodness, no.
No.
So, before we continue on the Star Wars tangent, someone just sent me something entertaining. What is everyone's sign here? Like, I know I'm a Libra. Like, what are you guys?
I have no idea.
What's your birthday?
I think I'm a Pisces. A fish.
Okay, and then Emily, you?
When's your birthday? I'm an Aries. When's your birthday, Anthony?
It's like in late February. So I think I'm the fish.
So they posted a Disney villain zodiac.
Oh God.
So you are the hunter from Tarzan, Emily.
Aww.
I am the Queen of Hearts. Yep.
The Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
Yep.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And Anthony, you said you're like Pisces?
Yeah, the fish.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's accurate, you're the witch from Tangled.
Oh dear.
Oh.
I always get the lamest fucking things on these like birthday
those things people come up with are just a little.
I always get just the worst on these.
Yep, I'm definitely a Pisces.
And so, did you ever see the video game one?
I've seen a couple of those, but what'd you get?
I got Samus from Metroid.
I'm gonna look up video game Zodiac and see.
See, those things I don't see. I don't trust those things very much because they all just don't really seem to be that cool.
Accurate?
Well, I wouldn't say they were not accurate, but they all just kind of like, ooh, be a cool character. Look, I'm related to Samus somehow. Look, astrological signs unite. You know.
Okay, well, Anthony, they're just for fun, man.
I know.
All right, so according to this one, you're in April, right, Emily? I want to say.
Yeah. Early April.
Early April. Okay, that means you are
the Aries, March 21st to April 19th.
And okay, well, you are right on the borderline. Yeah, you're Mario. In the gamer ninja, gamer zodiac, you're Mario. Anthony, what's your birthday again?
I'm a Pisces.
February what?
The fish. It's late February.
Okay,
definitely after the 19th.
Okay, after the 19th. I'm trying to find this. You are Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
And I'm Star Fox.
Dude.
I can't imagine Bronson being in any Star Fox game character. I'm sorry.
No, I could be a bear. Come on. I could be a star bear. There we go.
I can't imagine myself in Kingdom Hearts whatsoever. It just wouldn't work.
I could. It would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious, but it flat out wouldn't work for me.
You would be like Donald Duck.
No.
You would be kind of. It would be really funny. You'd be kind of like a fussy party member. I can see it. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can find any more of these. These are pretty good. Yeah, no, I'm having trouble finding these. This is a surprise. I would think there would be more of these on the internet.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Let's give up.
Oh, well. Oh, no, I can mention you in Kingdom Hearts, Anthony. It'd be...
Can't. I'm sorry. I can't.
I don't know. I have trouble picturing Emily in, as
the Mario universe? Really?
Yeah. You think you can be a Mario character?
Yeah, a princess that gets kidnapped.
Okay.
Well, just not Peach.
In another castle. Yeah, I'd probably be more Daisy than anything.
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, I can kind of see you as Daisy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I hate Daisy, though. She's an absolute pain in the ass in Mario Party 4.
Oh, in Mario Party 4, then yeah.
Yeah, for some reason Daisy was like, I get the impression, for some reason Daisy's just more aggressive than everyone else in Mario Party 4 and just screws you over so hard.
She's just more aggressive in the Mario Party games, period.
Yeah.
So Daisy is angry.
How should I put this? She is a bitch.
Plain and simple.
I normally don't swear like that, but Daisy just somehow, over the course of many years, have fit that description.
So, I found an anime zodiac.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm going to have no clue what you're talking about.
Thank you. Thank you. Someone in the same boat as me.
Some of these, yeah, I don't even. Some of these anime, even fucking, I don't recognize. Like, I don't even know. So yeah, I'm not.
It's like saying American movies that you're tied to. You present that to a Japanese person, they'll have no clue.
I think I don't know. I think more people in America watch anime than Japanese people watch American films.
I don't know,
but who knows?
I don't know.
Like that's a weird one. Here we go. Here's a fun one. It's your birthday and your birth month determines your Pokemon type.
Oh, God. Oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah,
I think I'm
you just reminded me of this.
You're water ground.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this just reminds me of that one time which you posted this. Your first name, middle name, and last name decides the 3-worded name that you get, and I got something so awful I don't even remember.
Can't even say it?
But it was, well, even if I remembered, I wouldn't want to say it because it was like flaming unicorn something, and it was just like, the third word was something really sexual, and I'm just like, I am not going to think.
I'm going to be honest, mine could not be more perfect for the way I act. Mine is Ghost Water.
Ghost Water?
Yeah. I love the rain. I love nighttime. That could not have been a better lineup. See, Anthony, your month is psychic. I don't know what day you were born. So. But after the 19th. So it's either. So it is psychic. Fire, psychic, rock, dark, water, ice, fighting, electric, ground, poison, flying, dark. So. Okay, well, I very much found. Oh, what's this one? Oh no, okay, that one. Yeah, okay, that one's pretty much done. Unless we want to start going into like Chinese zodiacs.
I'm
No.
a monkey.
I'm a horse.
Hey, that's cool. I'm a monkey too.
I was born on the year.
Yay!
I was born on.
The confusing thing about the Chinese zodiac is that, yes, it says like say for one particular year is the year of the dragon. However, if you were and you say like the year, let's just say 1980s year of the dragon. However, Chinese New Year doesn't happen exactly on New Year's Day.
No,
it happens.
always...
It happens like somewhere between late January and early February because it's the Lunar New Year. So if you were born before the Lunar New Year, you go into last year's, and those born after are the correct ones. So even if 1980 was the year of the dragon, if you were born before Chinese New Year that year, you weren't the year of the dragon.
But see, lucky for me, I was born after Chinese New Year, so mine is the monkey.
So I found a really cool one. Astrological RPG chart. So Aries is offensive fighter. Libra, which is mine, is defensive fighter. Pisces is defensive healer.
But I'd rather be a defensive fighter.
Well, Anthony,
this is why these things don't work.
Yeah, well, so that means you're a cleric, I'm a knight, and Emily is a barbarian.
God damn it.
This is pretty great. I'm okay with this.
This blows.
Oh my god. See, they're not real, but they're fun. That's what I like about these. Especially when you get, like, I always get terrible ones. Like, just fucking horrible.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like, my zombie team, like, I remember there was one for my zombie team, and I was just like, really? Really? Fuck you guys. Anyway.
Like that one that you posted where all these people were part of the Pokemon universe.
Oh, yep. That one. Oh
the one that I'm in.
Oh. You know, that just reminded me of this one thing. So there was a time when Bronson was posting these use your friends list to fill out the blanks kind of thing.
I enjoy those.
And one of those was like a video game one, and I remember that one of them said, persons whose death you would cry over. And my name was on it. And Aaron went out and took a picture of Aerith and slapped my grinning face from an older picture onto it, and I just want to choke Aaron. Just like, what the fuck are you doing? Thankfully, I don't think that many people actually saw it, because it's on like an obscure corner of, Facebook now.
Oh my god.
But that picture was just like, he took like, because I had this ridiculous goofy smile from this picture from like 2011 or something like that. And Aaron took that and just photoshopped that grinning stupid picture onto a picture of Aaron.
Onto Aaron's face.
And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me?
You're a dick.
Yeah. That was one of those, Aaron, you are a dick moments.
Okay, so I actually am looking through my photos right now, and I posted a lot of meme stuff last year. Like, one of the ones I posted was of SpongeBob, like, super ripped and ripping his shirt, who lifts in a pineapple under the sea. Haha, no, don't just joke.
Yeah, I do.
Then I posted the We Fit trainer, I'll help make you fit into a coffin.
Does his face look like
the face of mercy? Yeah. One of my favorites, though, was... It was a monkey knife fight from The Simpsons. The monkeys are dressed up as PlayStation and Xbox, and all the people betting money on the fight and surrounding it are PCs.
Oh, yeah.
This was before Microsoft changed all their policies, so uploaded Sony's E3 press conference to YouPorn, got banned for uploading rape video.
Ouch.
Another one is it's Futurama, and it replaced Hermes' head with Xbox, Bender's with PlayStation. And it's like, Hermes, I'm gonna jump, and then Xbox, it's like, do a flip. Or Bender, yeah, okay. Do I have any other good ones that I posted? Not really. The Wii Friend Zone Nintendo one was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty solid. I posted some stuff about the First Amendment and Second Amendment that got some of my more fanatical friends a little angry.
A little bit.
Yeah. I recently posted it's a picture of Peyton Manning, but he looks like a real creeper in it. Like, just like, kind of Deliverance level of creepy. And it says, "I'm going to rape your secondary."
Wow.
Yeah. You're digging on my Facebook now, aren't you? Because it's posted recently. I also posted a picture from Christmas Day from WoW, which just Ironforge is super packed. Hey, you guys ready for a discussion on piracy as we move to the news?
Really?
Yeah, Jeff Gerstmann got quoted when asked about piracy recently, and I thought it was a pretty good quote. We can talk about it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so the strongest way to fight against piracy is to have a business model that makes sense and is easy to understand and use. The more restrictions that you throw up on files and videos, all you're doing is inspiring people to throw up double middle fingers and say, "I can click 4 buttons over here and get it for free." You have to be easier and more convenient than free. You have to compete with free.
You have to compete with free.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's the ultimate reason why people pirate games is because you don't have.
They want to get stuff for free.
You get it for free, and in addition, you don't get caught. Usually, you don't get caught because so many people are doing it. It's hard to
catch all of them at the same time.
Yeah, like there really is no way to catch them all at the same time because so many people do it. Like I think I read something like Call of Duty Modern Warfare got pirated so much, like millions upon millions of times. Is there enough police power in the world to chase after the millions after millions who were pirating this game? So so we don't have any, reasonable way of implementing, laws via the internet yet. So what comes? So what do? Yeah, but at the same time, you have to be careful about adding like a police on the internet because then everyone gets pissed off about it very easily. So that kind of leaves the companies to solve their own problems. The issue is that companies do things like CD keys. We're going to lock it to your computer. We're going to lock it to your game console. We're going to require that you have to buy it new. But the problem is that they're just all making it more annoying. And what Bronson and I think should be done is that you should make it easy. For example,
and cheap.
Easy and cheap. Like, for example, one of the reasons why I was told, like, people who pirate games told me, games are too expensive. I want to play the latest games. I want to play Mass Effect 3, but it's $60, and I have to pay for DLC packs. And, they say that. And another reason why people say piracy, why they pirate, is because I want to try out games. Because back in the older days of PC gaming, there used to be a lot of PC demos for quite a lot of the big games, but nowadays demos don't exist anymore. And I always feel that demos were amazing because first off, people get to try your game. People get to try your game for free. And sometimes
what you want?
like open betas and demos let people try the game for free. Just a small piece of it. Not that you don't get the entire experience, but you get like a good highlight reel of what the developer thinks is a good representation of their game. And
nice small
I feel that this is very effective because I got into the beta for Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. And if I hadn't gone into it, I probably wouldn't have cared about it at all today. But you know what? I got in the beta, I played it, loved it, bought the game. Dragon's Dogma. Kind of thought, oh, that's probably just a Japanese Western RPG that isn't as good as Skyrim. Downloaded the demo, played it, loved it. Bought Dragon's Dogma, and if I wrote a personal top 10 list of top 10 personal games of the last generation, Dragon's Dogma would be on that list. So I feel like demos definitely solve that problem. So giving people a chance to try your game without having to go pirate it.
So, on my end of things, I definitely agree with that. Like, not only demos, but just making the games cheaper and easy to use. Like, I can pirate music. I don't. Why don't I pirate music? Because I can go on iTunes and pay typically $8 for, like, 20 songs from an artist.
Well, Yeah,
like,
there's that part, but not only is it cheap, but it's extremely easy. You just click a couple buttons, done.
I just click a button. They have my credit card information
for example,
saved.
I wanted to buy the Mass Effect 1 soundtrack. Took me like what, a minute or two? Just click a few buttons, charge it to a credit card, and I immediately get to download the songs and put it on my iPod and listen to it right away. All within a span of 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really nice. Whereas if I wanted to pirate music, I would first have to find a source. I have to make sure that it isn't a bunch of viruses ready to blow my computer to pieces.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Exactly.
And hence why iTunes is so popular. It's the music store.
People
use.
And games is slowly getting this with Steam. Like, it's very common that on Steam, how often on Steam do we see like a game coming out in it's coming out in 2 weeks? Like, oh, if you pre-order it, you get $15 off. Like, we see that shit all the time.
Yeah, we actually don't see it at all, really.
On Steam, we do.
Yeah, I
don't
huge
remember
Steam sale that they had.
Well, to be honest, I'm not on Steam that much, but I don't remember those things.
Yeah, like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. If you pre-order Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, the price. Yeah,
that one I saw, but before that I didn't.
They do that all the time. Like, if you pre-order, you get it cheaper.
I know, but and here's the other thing too: is like Steam is also very aggressive with cutting prices of their stuff. Like, unless the game is less than a month old, chances are it's going to get price cut really fast.
I mean, yeah, like, let's look at a recent release.
For example, Civ 5 Brave New World expansion. It's like what, $25 or $30 when it came out. So it's quite an expensive expansion. Because to be honest, I paid $8.50 for Civ 5 Gold Edition. Or sorry, I paid $8.50 for Civ 5, and then paid another $5 to upgrade to the Gold Edition, which includes Gods and Kings, which is an awesome deal. And then Brave New World comes out, I'm like, ooh, man, I don't think I want to buy that yet. And then it became like, what, 50 or 60% off, and then you can get it for like $10 or $8.
Yeah,
at the winter sale.
Even brand new games in the winter sale will drop from $60 down to $40 and sometimes $30. Assassin's Creed 4 was like $35.
And here's the thing too: the sales were so good, I bought Skyrim twice. Like, I got it for the PS3, and even games you think don't get a price cut because they're popular also get price cuts. Like Skyrim, I thought it's like, I hope they price cut Skyrim. And guess what?
They did.
I bought it as part of a Bethesda bundle, which was a very bad idea because it includes lots of games I don't give a shit about, so I'm not going to buy bundles ever again.
I didn't even gift those to friends, though.
And even then, only like 7 months after Skyrim came out, guess what? Half off. And guess what? Top seller on Steam instantly. Top seller.
Yeah.
And here's another thing, too. Even games that you think don't sell very well if you lower the price now. For example, Euro Truck Simulator 2. I thought no one buys these games. I thought no one gives a crap about driving a bunch of trucks across Europe. Sounds really boring. Guess what? Half off, 80% off, and guess what? It was like a top 10 bestseller on Steam for the day.
Yeah,
people were buying a simulator where you drive a bunch of lorries across Europe.
Another perfect example is like Saints Row 4 is, it's about 6 months old almost. They've already slashed it down to $40, and last weekend they had a sale where you could get it for $20.
Yeah.
One of the best games of last year.
Yeah. So, and you know what? It's kind of like, to be honest, these price cuts kind of cause, I believe it's called buyer's remorse, where we don't buy anything until the sale happens because we know it will happen. And for companies, that's a bit bad because they could lose money that way. But the sales are great, and not to mention, more people buy your game. I mean, that's good, right?
More
people to buy your game.
A lot of indie developers talked about this, where they will, like, their game will sell fine, it'll do well, but they'll make double, triple, quadruple what they made on the original sale during a Steam sale. Or during a weekend deal. Like, I forgot who it was. It was one of the major indie developers said, yeah, we made the majority of our money during that weekend where we put it all like half off on Steam.
Yeah. So Steam solves the pricing point, but they also make it very easy. For example, you just download the game, and that's it. It's already installed.
Right there.
You probably just need to like run a few small installations that it always does when you just install a game. But once you download it in, you can hit play right away. You don't have to wait for installs. You don't have to, patch things manually. All that's handled automatically. Easy, simple, and it's all in one place. So you only have one client instead of multiple installs spread across a billion different places.
Exactly. Yeah, like that. If you want to fight piracy, you basically have to do what Steam and iTunes do: cheap and convenient. And then you're like, well, there are always going to be people there's always going to be people who pirate and say fuck the system or just can't afford it, or their country doesn't get it. First off, if your country doesn't get a game, then go ahead. Like, you couldn't play it any other way. That's my logic. It's like, fine, they don't want to sell it to you. What else are you gonna do? You
could import, but that's a very expensive solution.
That's expensive and asinine, and in some cases, shit's region locked. Just a lot of stuff like that. So, continuing on the news stories, The Last of Us is getting DLC. It's going to have a DLC story that comes out. Is supposed to come out on Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Oh no. Well, actually, to be honest, for most of us, we don't care.
Yeah, for you guys, it's Singles Awareness Day, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
For me, it's just another chocolate day.
For me, it's just another holiday.
Yeah, for me, it's just like another excuse to get cheap chocolate.
Yeah, the day after, you mean? Like, the day after is the bomb. Yo, you can go...
all of that is on sale.
And not just sale, like 75% off sale. Like,
oh man, we gotta get rid of all this pink candy. Sale!
Yeah, it's just like, oh, we need to get rid of all these boxes of chocolate hearts. $2 each. I'll take 10. Oh, God. Just... So...
And you're gonna get so much acne from that.
You know what? That is, like, my genetics are
Yeah, so, but if you're a person who gets acne kind of easily...
Oh, yeah, if you're like
it
our
sucks.
Friend, if you're like our
chocolate.
If you're like our friend Mitch, your face will just turn into a zit. But if you're like me, just fuck yeah. Actually, no, if you're like me, it's bad because I have a slow metabolism, so... oh, God, that's actually one of the shitty things about my body. On the plus side, I build muscle and lose weight really fast. But I also have a slow metabolism and get fat really easily.
How does that work?
I do not know how that works, but when I'm trying to lose weight, I should say, not if I'm working out consistently, will not put on weight, will drop weight easily. But if I am just fucking not doing anything, there are those people who just eat whatever the fuck they want and still stay in shape.
Yeah.
Or stay skinny at least, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure their cholesterol says otherwise.
Yeah, like Aaron.
Because
Quinn,
that's the thing. It's you eat a lot of burgers and you stay skinny, but that doesn't mean that your blood pressure is still okay.
Yeah. One thing I'm thankful for is I do build muscle really quick. So good weight room story from here in high school. There was one point where I had a 70-pound jump in my max over the course of 5 months. So yeah, that's pretty nuts.
That is pretty nuts, dude.
Anyway, so it's coming out on Singles Awareness Day, Valentine's Day. Depending on who you are. If you're like me, what that means is if you have work or stuff to do, you'll get that taken care of. Then you will come home and play a horribly depressing DLC, probably. Because The Last of Us is just sad all the time. So, I don't know. It looks really good. Naughty Dog knows what they're doing. It's going to be a good length. Not much more about it. They put out a trailer. You should check it out. Anyone excited about this Singles Awareness Day DLC?
I haven't even played the game Last of Us, so
you should. It is excellent.
I know. I really should. It's gotten crazy, amazing reviews.
We gave it our Game of the Year.
Oh, you guys did?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was number 1 from us. Second place was Mario 3D World. Third place was GTA.
Wow, GTA was top 5.
Yeah, top 5 was Ni no Kuni, Dota 2, GTA, Mario, and Last of Us. So, looks good. So, next piece of news is Titanfall, the next big shooter from the original good Call of Duty team, is confirmed not to have any microtransactions. There will be no microtransactions.
Yeah, that seems to be a pretty common topic. It's a topic that people flare up really easily about. It's like the moment they hear the word microtransactions, it just instills hatred with from the soul kind of thing. It's one of those things people flip out about really easily. Because usually microtransactions is kind of like, for some reason, immediately tied to unfinished game or pay to win, something like that.
Right.
What's some other very unpopular words? Online passes.
Online pass.
But that problem's getting solved. EA in general, which, by the way, they're they're in the running for worst company in America again.
For the 3rd year in a row.
Like, frickin', at this point, I'm just gonna say it's a joke. Because, the power of the internet can do that. And it is an internet poll.
The internet
I'm just going to say that it's more of a joke than people actually being serious about EA being worst company. Because on a serious perspective, if you think EA is the worst company in America, you probably haven't thought about EA. Okay, EA didn't cause that gigantic oil spill on the Gulf of Mexico and screwed over a coastline. EA didn't cause people to lose their houses. EA didn't cause world hunger. EA didn't cause a gigantic financial Ponzi scheme, and EA didn't crash the stock market.
There you go.
On a serious note, yes, as a 16-year-old child at home playing Battlefield 4, them not getting their online working correctly seems like, to you, the worst company in the world. But if you're a grown adult, you know that there are things far, far, far worse. Okay? If anything, you probably should be more angry at your cable company for not providing reliable internet.
Yeah.
Than fuming over the fact that EA just abuses these franchises and drove BioWare sort of to the ground. Okay? But at this point, I'm just going to hope that it's just a joke, that the internet just caught on. Because EA did lots of unpopular things 2 years ago.
They kind of still do them, but...
Yeah, they still do them. They still bash yearly releases. They still are, making BioWare somehow likable, but at the same time unlikable. For me, at least. They still insist that Origin is a good competitor to Steam, even though the only reason why they have so many users is because you force people who want to play the PC version of Mass Effect 3 and in the future Titanfall to sign up for Origin.
All right.
Great guys.
So, I got some Final Fantasy 14 news, which I'm going to keep this short because I know this is typically...
Really? News? That you looked up that... Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Warcraft Man is reading Final Fantasy 14 news.
I feel dirty.
This is quite shocking.
This is not it's not my MMO. You guys don't have mechs. You guys don't have dumb, elaborate stories. Anyway, so basically...
Oh, we do have mechs. We do have mechs in Final Fantasy 14. It's just the same Magitech mech from Final Fantasy 6, actually.
Okay,
That's about it. But yes, that's technically a mech. It's just
a
mount.
According to Shuhei Yoshida over at Sony, The PS4 version is coming out April 14th. However, a select few chosen will be asked to take up arms early as beta testers for the new versions coming out as early as February 22nd. Those who own the PS3 version will be able to enter the beta and transfer their character and save data to it for free. A PS4 Collector's Edition will be available to those who want to spend the extra cash or the next swag. The Collector's Edition will include all the bundles in the other Collector's Editions, plus a Chocobo mount, a wind-up Moogle minion, which can also be gifted to anyone who bought the other versions at no extra cost. It'll be tweaked to run at 60 frames on the system. They have not said how much it'll cost.
Well, I hope it costs less than 60, because when Realm Reborn came out, they were quite aware that the original was a complete failure. Like, maybe the only thing that could go for it was just the music. So the PC version costed $30, and the PS3 version costed $40, and it included the first month for free.
Yep.
With the PS4 version, I hope they keep it under $50. Okay, also release it for $40, because if you release it at $60, why can't you just buy the PS3 version for $20 less, or even buy the PC version for half that cost? So, and to be honest, if you already are playing Final Fantasy XIV on the PS3, why would you want to pay $60 to buy a version that only looks better?
Because it'll run better, probably.
It'll run better, but is that worth $60?
Depends.
Because let's be honest here, you already been paying your subscription fees. You already paid for the game itself. And now what you're doing is that you're paying $60 for a game that you already played.
Well, didn't they already say you could upgrade to that version for free?
I don't know.
They've said that. Yeah,
I do believe you said that.
Yeah, so they get the upgrade for free. It's only people buying the game new. So fuck it.
Well, they just have to get a PS4 then. But for those who haven't gone in yet, I think it needs to be less than 60. Less than 50. Probably, less than 50 even.
Well, we'll see. So Hatsune Miku Project Diva F, the Vita version, is finally coming to America in March.
It is italic F, not bold F, italic F. Yes. That's a little detail that they did, because the PS3 version, they have the big bold of capitalized F, and the Vita version is a lowercase italic F.
Great. I'm sure everyone cared.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like that was a little detail that I didn't know if they really needed to do that or not.
Anyway, they're saying they are largely doing this because of the success of the PS3 version in America.
Really? Yay. This is by Sega, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Sega, can you bring Yakuza 5? It's got perfect scores from Famitsu, and you did bring 3 and 4. Hello?
Jerks.
No, I don't want Dead Souls. I want Yakuza 5.
Yakuza! Oh my god.
Freaking a perfect score from Famitsu is quite an achievement. You guys should bring it over.
So,
please.
I'll buy it. Yeah, so will I. I will buy multiple copies, just so... God. I'll probably buy multiple copies of that game just to get other people to try it.
Yeah, like for me, Yakuza is just like, it's one of those games that is just very different because it's a very, very, very Japanese game that just so happens to have English text in it, which kind of gives you kind of a different perspective in gaming. Because some games are designed for the world and some games are designed for America, but I haven't really played a game that's like really cultured around Japan, so...
You need to play more games that I play then.
Yeah, Persona is a good start. Once it comes out.
Hatsune Miku, that was aimed directly at Japan.
Yeah, once it comes out in like 2 years. Persona 5. Because it's coming out this year in Japan, or at least they're planning to, but the problem is that when you have that much voice acting and text, I don't think it's going to come to America this year.
Probably, yeah. So, next up is the Hearthstone Open Beta is now live in North America. So all of you who want to play a really fun PC card game, go download it. Quinn and I played multiple games last night of it, and yeah, you guys should definitely check out Hearthstone. It is free. It is free and a ton of fun. So there's no reason you shouldn't try it. If you have a computer, that is.
It's free.
Free.
How do you compete with free?
You make the game so addictive that you want to spend money on booster packs, I guess.
Yeah, but then there are like people like me who don't buy booster packs and love the game anyways. I mean, that's what I did with League of Legends. I like it, and I didn't bother paying anything for it. I mean, I was tempted, but didn't pay for anything anyways.
Ironically enough, I love Dota 2. I still play it every now and then, and I still have yet to buy the Bastion announcer. And really, that's the only thing I want. Yeah. So, hey guys, what was one of the best games on the GameCube and of the 6th generation? Dave Sub, go.
Resident Evil 4.
Wow, Anthony, you knifed that straight in the heart, didn't you?
You said names a great game, and the first thing that popped in my head wasn't Smash Bros. I just said Resident Evil 4.
Dude, it is Smash Brothers.
Well,
I know, yes, but it's just like, okay, something that's great on the GameCube and also for that generation. Resident Evil 6. Sorry, not 6, 4. Don't.
Well, okay.
Ignore the fact I said 6.
Resident Evil 4. Yeah, you're right. They are bringing that game to the PC in its Ultimate HD edition, running at 1080p and 60 frames for $20. Hopefully.
Well, yeah, the ultimate as in, look, guys, we got a better resolution. Okay, that's all.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's just basically it. I don't know. Resident Evil 4 was the last good, really great Resident Evil. I had a lot of fun.
5 was kind of a.
5 was fun.
It depends what you're doing, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And 6 was a gigantic cinematic fire.
Terrible. Bad. Horror bad.
I still, to this day, don't understand how that game could still have the same producer and director as Dragon's Dogma. Like, it baffles my mind. Okay? Like, that was, like, around the time Resident Evil 6 came out was when people started realizing that these companies are being too excessive with their budgets and priorities in these games. Like, Dragon's Dogma and Resident Evil 6 have the same director and producer. Resident Evil 6, despite selling a lot, even though it was terrible, was deemed a failure. Dragon's Dogma, which didn't sell as much, but yet had the same two main guys working on it, was a surprising success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How exactly does that work?
You think about it. With Dragon's Dogma, they had more realistic.
Well, it's the same way how like Tomb Raider sells 3 million copies and is a failure. Final Fantasy 13 2 like breaks 1 million and it's like it's doing well. You know, so
yeah, it's just probably need to like change your priorities a little bit here, like, or at least change, or at least. In the case of Dragon's Dogma, I felt like they probably got a lot of things right with it. They understand that because this game isn't going to be in no way competing with Skyrim, they're just like saying, hey, let's experiment with some cool ideas. You know, let's do some things, make it like a small project, and then release it to the public and, you know, keep our expectations realistic.
Right.
Whereas it was Resident Evil 6, it's like if they throw enough money at it, big sales will happen, which wasn't the case. Same with Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider was a case of they were throwing lots of money at it, and sometimes even in the wrong places. For example, you said that the multiplayer had no need to exist.
It was so, like, why was that part of that game? It was so bad.
Yeah, like, the multiplayer didn't need to exist, which probably could have trimmed about maybe tens of thousands, if not tens of thousands or something like that. In addition, they also went through the whole effort of working with AMD, where the PC version...
And now the next-gen console version.
Yeah, has better hair via Tress effects. Now, I don't know about you, but they were obsessed with good hair. Now, let me tell you, Square Enix got the hair part right, and it didn't need some fancy Tress effects. It's just that the Final Fantasy people are just very good at executing art that way. But you didn't need that fancy hair in Tomb Raider. Okay, for a lot of us people, we kind of care that thing. We are happy if things look good enough. Okay, smoke cannot be modeled as 100% real life smoke because that would just make a computer explode and terribly slow. Okay, we just care that it looks good enough. So what we do, we just do repeating modeling, which is why when smoke rises, you notice that's kind of just a looping pattern kind of thing. But it looks good enough. We're okay with it. Like, have you seen the hair of Femshep in Mass Effect? Doesn't look very good. Looks like block gel, modeled to sort of look like hair, with some red-haired color sprayed onto it. Doesn't look good, but you know what? It's consistent with the style, and we're totally okay with it.
I played Tomb Raider last year, and I'm gonna play the definitive edition. I'm gonna rent it, and I thought it was a great game. It was one of the best games last year. It missed our top 10 by a hair. And they ended up releasing a thing at the end of last year saying, "Oh, we ended up making money on it." So yeah, good, I guess. Oh well. Hey, who here likes cheap video games?
I like cheap video games, especially considering we were talking how video games are so expensive earlier.
You and I have had that discussion multiple times where it's just
we have a lot of topics that we just keep repeating.
Well, it's because they keep coming up in the news. Well, Anthony, Borderlands 2 was our second place game of the year in 2012.
Yes, it was.
And Dishonored
is, I should say.
Yeah, and Dishonored was a solid game.
Yes.
How would you like both of those bundled together for $30, brand new?
Ooh, sounds tempting. Oh, right. Shit! The car's on fire. I'm sorry. Right. I'm sorry. I shot the gas.
Anthony, you shouldn't be like driving while podcasting. That's really dangerous.
I know. Look, for some reason the fuel tank punctured. Okay, the fuel tank punctured, and I got in the car. I started the car with the leaking fuel tank, and then it just magically started catching fire. So I'm just like, oh fuck! Jumps out of the car, and now the car just blew up on my driveway.
So
good job.
All right then.
That's a red awesome convertible that just blew up right there.
See, this is why I can't play See, that's why I can't play The Last of Us while we do this podcast, and why I can't play The Last of Us with headphones. The Last of Us with headphones was so intense that I couldn't play it for more than 35 minutes before being like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. This is too fucking scary and intense. Okay? And very few games do that to me. Props to The Last of Us for creating a horror game that actually made me scared. Because I can't remember the last time that happened. Dead Space didn't do it. Resident Evil hasn't done it ever. Silent Hill hasn't done it since the third game. Amnesia did it. I'll say that for Amnesia. But yeah, so Last of Us, props on making me scared shitless, especially wearing surround sound headphones. Alright, so 2K is also doing another bundle where they have teamed up with Bethesda to get you BioShock Infinite and Skyrim for $30.
Nice.
So for $60, you can get 4 games, 2 of which are incredibly long and have a ton of content. These are the vanilla versions of each game, so no DLC until you buy it. But still, that is a lot of content.
Yeah, that's actually very good with Skyrim. Definitely. I mean, it's one of those you can sit down and play this game for 80 hours.
Indeed, it is.
And Skyrim is Skyrim without its DLC is still, I think, very good gaming value. Because Bronson and I, we like to talk about how it's overrated, but guess what? I still played it for 80 hours, which is more than most games I own.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so next up is HBO Go is coming to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. So if you have HBO, one of the cool parts about it is HBO Go. You can watch it on tablets, computers, and Xboxes. Which, I'm going to be honest, the only reason I'd subscribe to HBO is because of Game of Thrones. So it's just cheap for me to buy the DVDs, but whatever. Well, now PlayStation owners will be able to enjoy that on their system. So, good on you. Way to get that done, Sony. You're a little late to the party, but better late than never, right?
Right.
All right, so we got the last 3 here, and then some forum posts, and then we're done. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, so we're gonna discuss the 2 things that happened on Unscripted Access that we talked about on Unscripted Access this week. Nintendo revises its overly ambitious sales predictions and expects to lose 35 billion yen this year, which translates to roughly. Damn, they do not have a estimate for that. Anthony, do you know the yen conversion?
Sure, let me check Google.
That's like what, 3.5 million?
Right? Currently, 1,000 yen is $1.
Okay, so yeah, is that right?
So how many yen are we talking about? 35 billion.
Yeah.
With a B.
That is. Let's see. 5 billion. Hang on. That's 342 million.
Wow.
Woo.
Yeah, I just typed in 35 billion Japanese yen, and it's giving me $342 million.
And Nintendo expects to lose that much?
Granted, Nintendo is worth $8 billion.
So it's not catastrophic at the moment, but anytime you're a business, you don't want to see this kind of number, because if you keep doing this, you're going to be broke eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I mean, you think about it. You think about it as far as personal finances. Oh, I have $100. Losing $5 is no big deal. Then you lose another $5. Another $5.
And then you lose another $5 here, and another there.
Yeah, like for example, for example, you're like, oh, I got $500 to spend on games. Guess what? You go out and buy 5 games already. You lost half of it. 5 brand new $60 games, and you lost half of it already. Like, money can disappear very quickly if you're not careful about it.
Which I think last year I bought 7 games at 7 retail games at full price, and I got one of those for free. So, yeah, and a buy 2 get 1, and then the other one was a DS game. So, yeah, that isn't good. We kind of ran this topic into the ground on Unscripted Access, and I'm going to run it more into the ground on Bronson Rants. So, we're not going to discuss it too much here, but Nintendo is doing everything right in the portable market. They don't know their head from their ass in the home console market.
Apparently.
I think they sort of do, but Microsoft and Sony are way better at it right now.
I think they know how to produce, like I said, when Nintendo's A team makes a game, they make the best games. I remember, what was it? Super Mario 3D World? That was amazing. Like, it got second place in our Game of the Year awards this year. It's in my opinion, is the first game of the new consoles that actually feels next gen and something beyond graphics. It's great. But that said, it's one game, and even though the Wii U has the best library of the current of exclusives on the next gen consoles, it doesn't have a lot of the heavy hitters like Battlefield.
Well, that's not. I don't think that's the biggest problem.
Oh, it's not. But
you think about like biggest problem as far as the games library. It's like, yes, they have the best games library right now, but at the end of the year, the PS4 and Xbox One have likely caught up already.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you think about it, their sales are about to overtake the Wii U, and guess what? They've been out for like less than 6 months now.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think what Nintendo could do is reposition their marketing, and they could say, this is a console for low-income households and kids and families, like they did with the Wii. Do a price cut and just keep releasing great games. And I know, and I know the tablet is the thing that is costing them the most amount of money. Because Sony has priced the PS4, which is significantly more advanced, at $400, and they're making like a $20 profit on it, they've said. So, what Nintendo is probably making a profit on the Wii U. How much? Who knows? But I think they need to, if they can, price cut it down as much as possible. If you have to do what they did with the GameCube, where they were eating $30 a system. They were losing money on the GameCube, $30 a piece at first. So if that's what they have to do to get that thing down to $250 or less, and then reposition it as like we do not have the best graphics, and we are missing certain games like Battlefield, but you can buy this for their kids. You buy this for your kids. It does Netflix, and it's going to continue to get new games, unlike the PS3 and 360. And it has these amazing Nintendo games that you've played forever: Mario, Metroid, Zelda, da 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 da.
Hey, wasn't that the whole point of the Wii U system in the first place? Was it family oriented so that kids could play and their parents couldn't like play something as well?
Yeah, the problem is that they were hoping the Wii market would come to it, and they didn't because they don't understand the tablet. And part of that was in their messaging, where they didn't like there are some people who do the shit we do, where they report and write about games, and they didn't know the Wii U was a new console and not just an add-on. So how the fuck is the general public gonna know?
That's true.
You know, so I think that they needed to differentiate better, and they needed to show how easy it is to use. Because the Wii U, when you get your hands on it and start to use that tablet, it's really neat.
It is really cool.
Like being able to play Mario, like, you know, people in my family want to watch Netflix with me in the other room a lot, but I want to keep playing games. So the fact that I can carry Mario with me or Zelda with me to the next room, that's great.
But you have to be within 30 feet of the system, or else it's a no-go.
Well, yeah, depending on your house. But still, like, if it's just a room over, or I know that Gabe from Penny Arcade talked about this, Mike Krahulik.
Yeah.
He said that, like, it is an amazing dad system. Because if if you're a dad, the kids want to watch TV, your wife likes to watch things different than you can still keep playing your game of Call of Duty, or you can still keep playing your Assassin's Creed or whatever you like, just on the tablet.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. My boyfriend will play Final Fantasy on his Wii U, and I'll still be watching TV, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's fantastic. I mean, like people here will want to watch Netflix. I'm just like, okay, fine, just pull the tablet off and go do my thing.
And just continue playing while they're watching.
Yeah.
They're watching something on Netflix.
I realized that Sony kind of did that with the Vita, but you still have to buy a Vita with the system. It's not part of the system.
Right. It's a separate thing.
But the Vita, in my opinion, is a great handheld with tons of good games on it. But
but it's still $200.
Still $200. With
no storage.
No, they have a bundle now where it comes with minimal storage. But yeah,
minimal
meaning you have to rebuy storage anyways because you're going to use it for more than one game.
Well, I mean, if cross-buy. Look, one of the best reasons to buy a Vita is because of downloadable indie games. So you need, at minimum, in my opinion, 8 gigs, and they give you a 4 gig.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I have a 16 gig in mine. I want to get a 64 when they come to the States.
You realize how long that's going to be?
I'll probably be an old man, and I probably should just... I'll
pretty much.
Yeah, like, I'm probably just going to import one. That seems like the better idea.
I was going to say, you could do what Brandon did with his PS3.
What? Just, import it? That's...
Little known fact, my brother got one of the first PS3s at launch, and he has, I believe, a 60 gig that's backwards compatible all the way to the PS1.
Ah, that's fantastic.
And those are hard to come by nowadays.
Yeah, no, those things, there aren't many of them.
Like,
that's true.
His PS3 was originally a 60 gig. Mm-hmm. He has 500 gigs on that PS3.
Oh yeah, they
upgradable hard drive.
Yeah,
upgradable hard drives.
Yeah, the Vita unfortunately has proprietary memory cards, so you can upgrade.
They will get that to ensure equal performance across all systems. Because some people use, like, when you think of hard drives, not all hard drives are built the same. Some are fast, some are slow.
Right.
Because depending on how they're designed and what their performance tier is and whatever. With the Vita, they don't want that problem where it's like, oh, this game takes forever to load because they bought a cheap SD card instead of like a fancy, nice, speedy one. So they're like proprietary. But the problem with that is that, let's see, you can get a 32 gigabyte SD card that's reasonably fast for like $22 on Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the Sony version costs. Yeah.
I don't know either.
So, I don't think Nintendo's necessarily doomed, but they need to reposition themselves.
I think their strategy.
The problem here is that, you know, everyone wants to be an analyst on what Nintendo should do. Some are saying...
Everyone wants our job, basically, is what you're saying.
Everyone wants to be an analyst, and everyone wants to feel right about their analysis, their professional analysis of Nintendo's current dilemma in the home console market.
Well, Anthony, as you know, you and I are right about everything, so, I mean...
Yeah, we are so right about everything.
That's what our Game of the Year award should be called, the We're Right Awards.
Okay, you
right
stole
about
that.
everything.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
The problem here is you stole that joke.
Yes.
You're all wrong. We're the only right ones here.
The You're Wrong Awards. There you go.
You're wrong. We're right, so shut up.
Awards.
But people want to like be an analysis. They think they have the solution, but here's the thing.
They don't.
They don't, because the problem is that people think from their perspective. It's like, oh, well, what does Nintendo need to do for me to buy the system? Oh, they need to make a system that has as much power as PS3 and Xbox 360. And for some people, that's good enough to convince them to buy a Wii. Like the Wii 1-4U thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they don't think that, yes, if Nintendo does that, then their competitors will still smash on Nintendo because Nintendo doesn't have the resources to make a competitive online service. Because, yes, Nintendo at one point was probably worth more than Sony. However, Sony has a huge amount of resources. They've got a computer division, camera division, music division, movie division. Sony's a colossal company, even though they kind of went broke a bit. Microsoft is a software giant. Anything that Microsoft wants to happen via software, it will happen. They've got Windows, they got Office, they got business, they got government. They work with governments. It's just, they are a colossal software company, so if the Xbox One just needs better software, guess what? They've got the people to do it. And they've got the money to do it. Because Microsoft is that big. Nintendo, on the other hand, doesn't exactly have that kind of team. Yes, they have a technical development team that writes the operating systems for the Wii U and the 3DS, but this isn't like some colossal 200-man team, I don't think. So, yes, for you...
I can ask a couple of my friends because they work at Nintendo.
Yeah. For some people...
Hey, can they get me a job up there?
I can talk to my buddies.
Okay, we should make this happen.
So
right.
for some,
Anthony, I may be moving to Seattle sooner than I thought.
We'll see. But for some, the thing is that people's analysis, they just like thinking it from what's going to make them happy, instead of the entire audience happy, because everyone's idea of a perfect game console is different. That's like saying, what's your idea of a perfect city? For a lot of people, it's different. For Bronson, it's the big city. For me, it's probably more like the suburbs. But we're different, right?
Yes.
So people are like, Nintendo needs to put out... okay, so we covered the... it needs equal power, but that doesn't solve Nintendo's software end. Oh, if they bring back F-Zero, Metroid, Star Fox, it will solve their problems. The problem is that they put a Metroid game out for the Wii, but no one bought it. Okay? How big of a seller was Metroid Prime? Did Metroid Prime save the GameCube? It did not. Smash Brothers saved the GameCube. Did F-Zero save the GameCube? Like, the GameCube had the F-Zero, the Star Fox, the Metroid Primes. It had Smash Brothers. It had Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. It had Super Mario Sunshine. And guess what? The GameCube still lost to the original Xbox worldwide. That's kind of
Halo,
sad.
bro, Halo.
Yeah, but still,
about the Halo, man.
like Nintendo. So just by bringing back F-Zero and Star Fox is not going to solve that problem.
Man, you want
to? It will make loyalists happy, but loyalists don't constitute tens of millions of sales.
A little bit of a sidetrack here, but as long as we're talking about Halo, man, Halo Fest at PAX 11 was rad. I want them to do that again. Another Halo Fest needs to happen. Not necessarily at a PAX.
That was because of the 10th
but it's
anniversary of Halo.
It's going to be. Yeah, I know, but it's not going to be the same Halo.
Oh,
you think about it, Halo Fest was really cool because it was still kind of in that Bungie 343 transition. But ever since Halo 4, I don't feel like it's going to be as high quality Bungie as it used to be.
Well, no. Like, Halo 4 was a great game, though. I'm just not as into Halo as I used to be because, one, like, Halo always... Before 343 got involved, Halo's, fiction was hard sci-fi with a little bit of fantasy bullshit. Like, just a little bit. Not much. But now it's hard sci-fi with a lot of fantasy bullshit. And, yeah, they've kind of just stabbed it in the heart. So, I don't know.
So let's see. So the games, just bringing back F-Zero isn't going to solve the problems. I mean, you look at Pikmin 3. They brought back Pikmin.
That game sold well, considering the console's user base.
Yeah, but it wasn't the killer app.
True enough.
So what else do people say that the Wii U could do? I mean,
media.
So just make it a smartphone, yeah. But then again, that kind of goes back to the software problem, where Nintendo does not exactly have the resources that Apple, Microsoft, and Sony has to making these entertainment hubs. Like, yeah. So any solution that I can think of for Nintendo, there's always a counter argument to it that's just gonna be a problem. So, I mean, the only thing I can think of that could work, is what they're doing with their portables, okay? The 3DS faces a lot of stiff competition. In an era where anybody can pull out their smartphone and play a game on it, it seems like a big threat to the 3DS. And the 3DS is still doing extremely well, despite that. It's cheap. It's only $170. It has features that young children will get stoked about. It can play music. It's not the best music player, but it can play your music. It has cameras on it. If you are 8 years old and you can't use your parents' camera and they don't want to buy you a $300 iPod Touch, the 3DS, it can play music. It can take pictures. I mean, the pictures are awful to look at, but you can take pictures.
So one
that's
thing
kind of cool.
Thing about the Vita music player that you're bringing up the 3DS one out, and its average level of quality, is the Vita sorts your music almost too well. Like it's so like they sort it by they alphabetize everything, and they do it by album and artist, and like just really thorough with it. And I'm like, okay, guys, I just need you to organize by artist name. That's all you really need to do. I just want to listen to music while I play Killzone.
Yeah, so it's just the 3DS seems right.
That's actually saying something about the PS4 that pisses me off. It can do custom soundtracks, but only for Music Unlimited, because that's the only thing you would use to play music on it right now. Like, fuck.
Oh yeah, because you
can't play MP3s
import.
On it yet?
No,
not yet.
No, you cannot.
I think that's
really?
why I'm still happy with the PS4.
No, you cannot. You can use Music Unlimited, which I still have a free month of.
So it basically is not a media hub yet.
It can play DVDs.
It can play DVDs, but if it can't play your music or read music CD, I mean, music CDs is not as relevant. But if it can't play MP3 music, it's like, really?
What the hell?
Like, yeah. So, yeah, respect to Nintendo. Like, I feel like I want to say this is right, but it probably isn't. But low cost, easily accessible kind of things, because that's what the 3DS does, and that's why it's doing so well. Because the 3DS, I said this before in Unscripted, but the 3DS and the DS and the Game Boy Advance, their processors are actually not that, outlandish. ARM architecture. ARM architecture is found everywhere. Today, it is like one of the most popular processors, like probably one of the best processors. I can't even talk.
Probably one of the best processors ever. Yeah.
I wouldn't say best, but most popular ever.
One of the most popular ones.
It's everywhere. A huge majority of smartphones and tablets use the ARM architecture for their phones. And
can you do she sold see? I mean, I can't say it.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah, see, you can barely do it.
She sells seashells by the seashell.
Yeah. Almost.
But I fumbled at the beginning though, so you know I'm.
It's seashore.
Yeah. Seashore. Oh, okay.
She sells.
Okay.
God damn you guys.
She sells seashells by the seashore. But I fumbled in the middle right there.
Did anybody else here have to take theater classes in high school? Anyone?
Yes.
Did your teacher make you do grip top sock? Did you have to do that one?
Oh, God, I can't remember now.
I'm gonna go look this up on the internet and read it out for all you fine people in a minute.
Okay, so while Bronson's doing that, so the Game Boy Advance and DS, and they use the ARM architecture, which is a very, very popular processor. Like a huge majority of tablets and phones and even the TVs, you know, the smart TVs,
that processor.
They use it. So it's very common. It's everywhere. So that means that there are a lot of programmers out there that know how to make things for it. It's everywhere. So that's probably why the Game Boy Advance was so easy to work with and why it was so popular was that, I mean, I made a game for the Game Boy Advance. It only took me like a month and a half or 2 months. All I needed to do was get some tools, start typing some code, make some really awful art, and there you go. I have a basic 2D game happening on my Game Boy Advance. It's that easy. And same story with the DS. It's also easy. I mean, it's more complicated because you've got 2 screens and a touch screen, but it's also relatively easy. And the 3DS continues that. Same ARM architecture. Well, not the same, but it uses an ARM architecture. It's not complicated. It's easy to produce, easy to make things for, and, you know, lowers development costs. I feel like Nintendo needs to do that with their consoles. Don't make stupid hardware decisions that just makes it harder to work for. Okay? I mean, I think Bronson told me that there were rumors that to make GameCube games you had to have a Mac, which no one had in the early 2000s. Really? You had to buy a Mac to make GameCube? That, or you had some complicated computer programs. And the Wii U is like, oh my goodness. Like, it just seems like a lot of things that the 3DS isn't, okay? While the 3DS seems, outside the 3D screens, simple and easy and an evolution of, you know, the DS, and it's easy to make things for, the Wii U is like... How should I put this? The Wii U's processor is an enhanced and improved version... That's the same thing. Enhanced version of a Wii processor, which is an enhanced version of a GameCube processor, which is a modified version of a processor that you would find in a 1998 iMac computer. You know, those colored...
Yeah, the
CRT,
big ones.
Like those colored things that, you know, for some reason elementary schools just had to have. Yeah, those things.
I had those
like,
when I was
you can
in
trace
second
its
grade.
roots all the way back to that thing. Which,
I had the iMac
so you've got this whacked up thing that's kind of probably harder to work on. You've got low sales. You've got probably an image problem because you think about it. I want a cool game system. A cool game system that I can talk to people about. Well, the Wii U isn't it.
Not quite.
I mean, with the Wii, you can probably talk to, you know, middle-aged people at your local grocery store about it. But right now, what is the cool system to have? What is the hot gaming item? It's the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. They still have the hype.
I would argue that the 360 is the hottest.
Really? You're going that far back?
No one's getting it. It's a play on words. Like, I meant like physically hot.
It's
warm.
It's hot. It's so hot it won't work.
There you go.
This thing is working so hard for your gaming pleasure that it will break down.
I know.
Speaking of systems breaking down, Bronson, have you ever experienced the B-Pod?
The what?
The blue pulse of death.
Oh no, I have fucked up my hard drive though, so that was fun.
How did you do that?
We unplugged it.
we're the retards who unplugged the system when it was.
I thought it was okay, but turns out you need to be very careful if you unplug your PS4 because or else you could corrupt your entire hard drive and have to start from scratch.
Which I'm glad I had PlayStation Plus because all my shit was saved. Anyway,
the cloud.
I have found Grip Top Sock. So we had to read this. We had to memorize this for theater. It was to practice tongue twisters. Here we go. Give me the gift of a grip top sock. A dip drape, ship shape, tip top sock. Not your spiv slick, slapstick, slip slop stock, but a plastic, elastic, grip top stock. None of your fantastic slack swap slop from a slapdash flash cash haberdash shop. Not a knick knack, knit knock, knock knee knickerbocker sock with a mock shot, blob model trick tick tocker clock. Not a rucked up, puckered up, flop top sock, not a super sheer, seersucker pucka sack smock sock, not a spot speckled frog freckled, cheap chic sock, off a hodgepodge moss blotched scotch block, nothing slip slop, drip drop, flip flop, or clip clop, tip me to a tip top grip top sock.
That's very good.
Never had that.
Very good.
Boom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
That's very good.
I never had that in my theater class.
I memorized that shit and got it right. That was
all right. Wow, that's very good.
Doesn't even make sense. Why would you be buying socks at a haberdash shop? They sell hats. Doesn't even.
And do you know this?
Maybe to broaden, maybe to spread to a bigger demographic, they have started offering more.
You've never heard of a haberdasher? Someone who sells hats?
I mean, you think about it, Macy's. You think of Macy's as like a clothing store, but guess what? They sell like a bunch of home cooking equipment upstairs. And Best Buy, we all think of Best Buy as an electronics shop, but they have car audio installation in the back, and they sell refrigerators and washing machines.
Okay, well,
and they have a little music section where they sell guitars and drum kits and all that.
Okay, well, to answer your question, a haberdasher is a hat salesman. They were typically fancy hat stores during the 1920s. I know what a haberdasher is because I'm an English major. Yay! Vocabulary.
Yeah, so for Nintendo and the Wii U, I feel I'm not an industry analyst. And even analysts get things wrong. Like Michael Pachter, he's not 100% right.
He's wrong all the time.
Well, I wouldn't say he's wrong all the time, but he gets some things wrong because you can't predict everything in life. That's impossible. You have to be a Time Lord to predict everything, but that's pretty much impossible.
Michael Pachter is not a Time Lord.
He's not a Time Lord, and none of us are. None of us are Time Lords. What we can do is just make educated guesses. And that's what it is. It's guesses, and we can still be wrong. But like, what I think what Nintendo could do is that because they can't compete with Microsoft and Sony from an operating system standpoint, what they can do is do what they're good at when it comes to portables. Keep the system simple, inexpensive, easily accessible, and
so basically
give people incentive of why they want to come to you. Like Nintendo has always had the struggle with third parties since the Nintendo 64 days, for whatever reason. With the N64, it was expensive cartridges.
They never think about third parties when developing anything.
I mean, the NES and Super NES days, it was we're holding onto a leash. With the N64 days, the cartridges were too expensive. With the GameCube days, you didn't have enough storage.
Not only during the N64 days, they also had there was also a place where third parties could go and tell Nintendo to go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
that way
and with the GameCube days, it was you didn't have enough storage on your little mini disc, and with the Wii days, the system is vastly underpowered, vastly. And now with the Wii U, same problem. However, on the 3DS, third parties want to come to it because it's got the huge user base. It's easy to develop for. I mean, it's popular, so it's popular, and because it's inexpensive, you can experiment with it more and not take as much of a financial hit if things don't go as well. So maybe they could apply that same logic to their consoles.
All right, so honestly, for anyone who wants a little insight into how Nintendo makes hardware, I highly recommend the book Super Mario: How Nintendo Conquered America. Anthony, they actually do a lot of what you just said. It's just they're also kind of
but on the portable end, they do it very well. Like the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, it had an 8-bit processor. I mean, from a computer engineering standpoint, that basically means this thing can't do much. It probably the most memory you could do with it is like 16 kilobytes or something like that.
I think what they need to do is I think doing the GameCube again.
Oh, sorry, not 16 kilobytes. It's probably a bit worse.
I think doing the GameCube again would not be a bad option.
So the problem is that the GameCube was from a sales perspective not very competitive.
Yeah, they made money though.
They can do a GameCube again, and it will make lots of loyalists like me, you, and quite a lot of people happy. But Nintendo probably can't survive very well in that kind of business model.
Well, I mean, first off, they made a profit on the GameCube, and also you got to remember that, that entire generation was owned so hard by the PS2, though. I think in the current market that they'd actually have a shot of doing pretty well.
I know, but the thing is that we are hoping that Nintendo doesn't make as many stupid hardware decisions.
Well, the thing is though, is they're stuck with the Wii U for another 6 years anyway. So fuck.
But look, the Wii U I feel barely qualifies as modern because it can play games in 1080p, and if you do it right, reasonably well. That thing actually qualifies as barely modern. I don't know. It's like I don't know how to go forward with Nintendo's home console problems. They don't have the power that Sony and Microsoft have.
All right. Well,
it's that hard. I said, everyone kind of comes up with solutions, thinking that this is how Nintendo solves the problems. Leave the home console market completely. Well, why? I mean, Nintendo's kind of like an innovator at these things. Them leaving the home console market completely just kind of feels like it stagnates things.
All right, so move forward. We're going to save the rest of this discussion for another time. I want to space this out before we go into another heavy topic. So, light topic here. Square Enix spokesperson says about Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, both platforms offer the same outstanding Tomb Raider experience, delivering the core gameplay at native 1080p and running at 30 frames. Was always our primary goal, given the experience Tomb Raider is and the exploration we want players to do. Anything beyond 30 frames per second, that for this version is just gravy. And that is his response to the PS4 version running at 60 and the Xbox One version running at 30 frames.
Gravy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I can't tell if that's supposed to be a good statement or an insult.
Well, it depends on context. I mean, in this case, it would sound like it's a good thing because usually you'll say something like, oh, this happened, I got all this done, doing everything else was just gravy. It was just perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Let me put it this way.
I played that game at 30 frames on my PC at max, and that was fine. So, I mean...
Okay.
Here's
the
thing,
though. There's a pretty big difference between 60 and 30 frames. The human eye can definitely tell the difference between 30 and 60 frames per second.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with that. But I'm saying that, if you have the Xbox version, don't feel mad because first off, the last gen version of that game ran at sub 30 some points and didn't look as good. And also, in this this isn't a shooter. This isn't a racing game. This is a case where 30 frames is fine. You know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I could see that.
There are some games, Last of Us runs at 30, I believe. There are some games that just run at 30, and it's fine. So,
yeah, here's a... PC elitists are probably just thinking, oh, what a bunch of peasants.
Oh, Alex is listening to this, and he is vomiting.
Well, not just him. Any PC elitist.
Yeah, but when
all hail the master race and our Lord Gabe Newell. Gaben, I mean.
Lord Gaben. Yes, Lord Gaben.
Lord Gaben shall bring honor to our master race of Steam. Anyways, look, 30 frames isn't that bad. For one thing, 30 frames is okay. Yeah, 60 frames is a lot better. But 30 frames is all right. I mean, 29.97 is what I think some video formats usually go by. I know that film runs on 24 or 29.97, depending what you're using. So,
I think it's 24 frames per second in films. But keep going.
Yeah, it's probably 24 with, movies and 29 on normal YouTube videos.
I mean, depending on the... So here's the thing. Depending on the game you're playing, anything from 20-ish, 20 to 30 is fine. Like,
it really comes down to what you are doing. For example, if you're playing a turn-based game like Civ 5, I don't mind
at like 10 frames.
I could run that thing at 10 frames per second. I put it on my laptop, which has a graphics chip that can't play any game unless it's super old. It's a Radeon. It's a Radeon 4250. But guess what? I don't care. I play Civ on it just fine because it's turn-based and I just wait for turns to go by.
You can do a lot of PvE and MMOs with 20 frames.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't recommend that though.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. But,
well, still, I wouldn't recommend it because every time you click, there's like a slight lag. If you get the frames low enough, it's kind of...
Well, yeah, I'm saying 20 frames.
Like there comes a point where the lag can actually affect the input that you're trying to do with your buttons.
No.
Yeah, but like turn-based, 10, 15, yeah, that's fine. If you're playing a general action game that isn't ultra relied on...
Like, Uncharted can be at 30, Halo can be at 30, but, like, Devil May Cry and Bayonetta need to be at 60.
Shooters in general are preferred to be 60.
Yeah,
because
there are exceptions.
Racing needs to be at 60, which is what Gran Turismo 6 and Forza 5 do pretty well. It kind of depends on the context, really.
All right,
30 frames isn't that bad. Yes, 60 is always the dream goal of anybody who wants to talk about performance and optimization. 60 frames is the dream, the point of perfect fluent motion into the uncanny valley.
So,
let me tell you, playing Mass Effect 2 at 60 frames per second was weird. Because at 30 frames, it looks normal, right? Animations look acceptable.
I am saying the Xbox version of that game looks like... I can speak for the PC version. But on my machine, that thing runs on fucking, 100 frames.
I know, but I'm just saying... On the console versions, Mass Effect 2 looks okay. The animations look alright.
I don't know. To me... it looks slow to me, but go ahead.
Yeah, but at 60 frames, you actually notice every single animation imperfection. And it looked kind of weird to me. It's like all of a sudden Shepard's jogging, which you thought seemed okay in Xbox 360, now looks outright weird and abnormal in PC. It's like what?
I think that that depends on a lot. It depends on how they make it. Like Diablo 3 at 60 frames is the perfect way to play that game.
Yeah, you kind of need that.
Like. StarCraft, same thing. Like, StarCraft needs to be 60 frames.
StarCraft is also a toaster game.
Yeah, StarCraft won't run anything. I mean, StarCraft 2, sorry. Yeah. Well, that won't run anything also, but...
But still, yeah, that thing is... Even StarCraft 2 is like a toaster game. I believe I put it on my, crappy laptop. Still runs it fine.
Man, you want to know what game maxes out my machine? Warcraft 3. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Warcraft 3 is just...
Pushing that's 760M to the limit.
Yep. 765M, just beasting out on Warcraft 3.
That's like saying a hill is a true challenge for a Lamborghini to go up at 50 miles an hour. Like
yeah. I want them to make Warcraft 4 really badly.
Well, this year they might say that.
Yeah,
you never know. It's been a while it's been a while.
Did you notice the 20th anniversary of Warcraft?
Is it really?
Yeah, the franchise. Yeah.
Wow.
Also,
most people, I feel that whenever we ever talk about World of Warcraft, I feel like most people aren't aware of regular Warcraft.
Well,
or maybe they're aware, but they don't care as much.
So one thing I want... Hey, Emily, I'm just saying, Quinn and I are playing a lot of WoW recently. You should join in.
Yeah, if I had a computer.
Or you can play Final Fantasy 14.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to it. Shh. Come to the dark side.
Do you have cookies?
Bronson,
yeah, we do.
Bronson,
we do.
Bronson, they're both dark sides.
Come to the darkest side. We got fucking news reports about us. We got a whole movie about
Warcraft's got child neglection.
Yeah. We got a whole movie about fucking people who are addicted to our shit.
That's true, you do.
You guys ever see Second Skin? Good movie. Alright. Moving forward. Speaking of MMOs.
Oh, dear.
And I found this in the System Wars forum, the news post to this. So I have a couple of posts that come along with it I found funny. Sony confirms that EverQuest Next will be coming to PS4, and it won't be too long after PlanetSide 2 comes out on PS4. The first response to this, according to System Wars, MMOs don't really count as games and no one cares about them. That is followed by a response that says MMOs are casual games. People don't buy PCs just to play MMOs. And then the response to that was, true facts, only filthy casuals play MMOs. Fuck, I love the internet. It's so great.
Can I just...
Wow.
Oh, you guys are so funny.
Just wow.
I'm just like, no one
wow.
buys a PC to buy MMOs. Then what do you think people were doing back in 2005 with their PCs? Playing Battlefield 2? Playing Call of Duty 2? Nah. They just joined in the 14 million other people that lost their lives looking for awesome gear.
God, Quinn, so...
MMOs are for casuals. Well, sir, let me explain to you about about Final Fantasy Realm Reborn patch 2.0, the Ifrit hard mode boss fight. First, you have the main tank, which is responsible for putting
we can't do this. We can't do this.
Okay, so basically the point is... Oh, yeah, sure, it's so for casuals when I actually have maybe a page or two of instructions to beat a boss.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, unlike a Zelda game, I only need, 5 steps worth of instructions.
Yeah, and if you're the person leading the fight, it's 10 pages worth of crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's for casuals. How's it for casuals?
I'm just saying that... So, MMOs are probably one of the most least casual genres if you get into the hard... they're casual until you get into the hardcore aspect of it.
It's casual until you reach the end game.
Yeah.
Or get close to it, at least. Once you get towards the level cap of whatever expansion or game. It gets pretty intense. And
I know...
there's a lot of management because it's like, oh, what do you do in Call of Duty? Reaction time? Pulling some triggers? Yeah. With MMOs, you're managing people sometimes. When you're talking about 8 people that need to get through this really hard mode, you kind of need to be able to manage a group.
Anyways, when it comes to MMOs and people playing MMOs hardcore, I just need to point to Quinn from 2006 to 2009-ish, 2010. Dude quit track for World of Warcraft. Okay?
Yeah, it's just...
Alright? That tells you how evil those games are.
I'm not going to argue with those system... Actually, those system war posts are really funny. Oh, MMOs are too casual. Well... I'm not going to bother. If I was there, I wouldn't bother arguing with them that it is hardcore. But, you know what? People spend a lot of time playing it. And people spend
I wish I could be playing it right now. I'm just broke.
A lot of people spend a lot of time getting good at it. And a lot of people spend a lot of time managing things to get good at it. And it's not just the fact that it's hard. I also love playing it for the community. I actually became friends with some awesome new internet buddies over the course of playing FF14. So I'm there for the community too. And if that is too casual, man, okay then, you are so hardcore you don't get friends.
Exactly. No, I remember back when I had the time to be a hardcore WoW player and run a guild and do stuff. First off, playing that game the way I played it was pretty much a job, 40 hours a week minimum. Second off, that like so much organization and whatnot goes into certain parts of those games, and just, I mean, they are the most hardcore. And like, I would say next
they can be, yes.
I would say
now, are they now? Would I say they are
Dota 2?
Dota 2 or League of Legends, where you have to adopt strategies on the fly for every conceivable situation. I wouldn't say it's that hardcore, but it would be somewhere between normal and MOBA hardcore. Somewhere between there. Because, it's managing people, it's learning strategies, it's like facing problems. It's like, okay, we've got a problem here. It's kind of like life in general, actually. For example, in life, say you've got a problem at retail that a customer is not very happy that his online order didn't show up, and he's not very pleased about that. Okay, well, so what do? We need to think of plans to solve the situation. So let's apply that to the MMO. For example, we have a problem with a certain boss fight, and we notice that there's probably this one particular move we're having difficulties with. Let's find some solutions. Maybe we need to move to a certain spot on the floor. Maybe we need to use a certain move to protect ourselves. That kind of stuff. It's like problem solving. It's like solving a puzzle, only
and
you're kind of doing it on the fly.
And maybe some fights use a certain mechanic so much that it's just kind of a universal rule. Hey, Raider rule number 1 we had. Don't stand in shit.
Yeah.
That had to be posted on our little bulletin board in the game.
Don't stand in shit.
Raid rule number 1. Don't stand in shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so...
Green shit, fire, blue shit, ice, goo. If it's on the ground and it's not the ground, don't fucking stand in it, because you'll die. Most likely.
We could talk about this, and people say, oh, MMOs are too casual. I don't really see how they are, because, even Warcraft can get hard for a person like me. Maybe it's too casual if you spend an huge excessive amount of time and someone managed to beat everything in a month. There are some people that do that, and
like if I'm gonna admit, like if I had the time to play World of Warcraft like I did in middle school and high school, like I would be in a heroic raiding guild with all the best gear, and probably have like half the achievements.
Yeah. So MMOs are so casual. Well, that is the system worse for them.
Well, yeah.
So
absolutely.
I clearly am not going to take it seriously. I'm just going to laugh at them and just be like, whatever, pal.
Yeah.
But I personally think that, yeah, it seems easy at first until you get towards the end. And it's hard.
So we got last piece of news here. Sony can't keep supply in of the PS4.
Yes, we did talk about that when we were discussing sales numbers on Unscripted.
Yeah.
And how Xbox was king in the US for console sales, when really what happened is that Microsoft didn't have to build as many Xboxes for many markets.
Yeah.
Whereas Sony has to ship more PlayStation 4s to more markets worldwide.
Yeah, so but right now they're having trouble getting as many out as people need. So
it's not as bad as the Wii, or
I don't think anything is going to be as bad as the Wii. Okay, that was just nuts.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But the thing is that a PS4, if you look hard enough, you'll be able to find one. Like,
well, yeah,
it's not clearly it's not like Wii bad, but it's not like it's not Wii bad, because I remember I walked into Black Friday at like 5 a.m. at a local GameStop, and they had a PS4 just sitting right there, available, ready to be bought at 5 a.m.
You should have got it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you should have gave me a good argument to buy one, which you haven't yet.
Well, my argument is going to come out. But you know what? My argument comes out September 9th. That's all I gotta say.
But it wasn't September 9th, 2014 yet at that time.
No. Okay. But goddamn it,
you successfully convinced me on the Wii U, and there were good points for me to get a Wii U at the time. Okay, but for the PS4, I would have bought it, and it would have just sat on my shelf gathering dust until
I think the Wii U was a good decision for both of us.
It was a good decision.
At the time, it kind of seemed like a dumbass idea, but
It was a good decision. You think about it, the Wii U bundle, the Zelda Wii U bundle was great because it's the same price as a regular deluxe edition, but you get a Zelda game. So in the long run, you save a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to buy Wind Waker separately.
I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't be nearly as satisfied if Mario 3D World did not turn out nearly as good as it was. So, but...
Yeah, for me, Wind Waker HD is still my only Wii U game.
So
I'm not really using my Wii U very much, and I really need to get my...
Yeah, also, like I said, if Bayonetta 2 turns out to be better than Bayonetta 1... I mean, every penny spent on Wii U, absolutely worth it.
I am starting to imagine that what's going to happen to my usage of the Wii U is that I'm going to become desperate and I'm going to start purchasing indie games on the Wii U.
Hey, you know what you should buy?
And virtual console games.
Anthony, what I'm saying is you should borrow Bayonetta 1 from me. Play through it on easy because, it's kind of one of those games where...
Yeah.
And then go through... And then go through it, and then, like, Bayonetta 2, you should join this hype train.
Whatever little of it there is.
Yeah, me and Joe, the Bayonetta 2 fan club.
All 100 of you.
Is Emily still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I was actually going to...
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, no. I was actually going to say, I think I kind of started a fan club at PAX Prime.
For what?
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
That fan club has been around for a while, and I am in it with you, but... Oh, God.
No, I had a couple people ask me about Beyond Good and Evil 2. You know what my response was?
What?
Ask Ubisoft.
So my response to that is, this is what we need to do. So I have a friend of mine who's in the Frag Dolls. We need to get you in with them. And then you'll be in with Ubisoft, and you need to start an uprising with an Ubisoft to get that shit made.
Yes.
All right.
The Bayonetta fan club is just you and Joe, but if I recall correctly, Joe and a lot of Bayonetta fans were pissed that they have to buy a Wii U to play Bayonetta 2.
Well, the first game came out on PS3 and 360, and it sucked ass on PS3, so...
Yeah, so now Bayonetta fans, the fan club must have shrunk a significant amount when they found out that to play a sequel, they have to buy a Wii U.
Still, best part of that announcement was when someone posted that picture. It was Bayonetta and Mario next to each other. It had the Wii U U, that, blue U. Yep. It said, "You mad, bro?"
Yeah, and the Bayonetta fans were just like, what? But...
I was just like, oh, yeah. Because at the time, I didn't play Bayonetta, so I...
Yeah, from a business standpoint, though, Nintendo's probably the only ones who were willing to finance that game. So Bayonetta 2 probably wouldn't have happened at all.
Sega keeps financing Platinum Games' shit, except for Bayonetta 2 and the Wonderful 101. They financed financed Vanquished, financed fucking oh god, what was it? Anarchy Reigns. Konami did Metal Gear Rising, of course. So I don't know. Oh god. Anyway, moving forward, so PS4s are hard to get, Xbox Ones are kind of easy to get. PS4.
I just got an email from GameStop telling me Xbox One's in stock.
I've gotten that email for both of them, and I'm like, well, I already own a PS4, so you're barking up the wrong tree.
Well, they just sent a generic newsletter to everybody,
Yeah, I know. And then, as far as Xbox One goes, it was tax return time, but now I'm just gonna say fuck it and just I don't know when. I'd be willing to dive in at $100 price drop in some more games. Or jump in, playing in their advertising campaign. Brah.
Jump in.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's still not to the point of when the 360 first came out. I remember that multiple people had to buy their 360s in bundles because the stock was so limited that to get people to slow down on buying them, they put them in bundles. Yeah. So, anyway, at least Sony hasn't done that dumbass thing they did with PS3, though. Where it's if you can find one, we'll give you $1,200.
Did they really do that with PS3s?
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember that.
Okay, so
like everyone's like, no one's buying PS3s, so then they were so overly confident because they were so drunk on PS2 success.
Right.
They went out and they said, Jack Trent went out and said, we will give a $1,200 bounty for every PS3 found in the wild.
In the found. Yeah, in the found, because he was that confident that the PS3 was selling well and was sold out.
Yeah, in a recent interview, Sony Computer Entertainment America president Jack Tretton claimed that he would pay $1,200 bounty on any PS3 system found on store shelves. And then Penny Arcade responded with, "Wow, that was really stupid." And they proceeded to take pictures of everyone they found from northern Seattle down to the southern. And 1 hour and 11 systems later, we're $13,200 richer. When we get the money, we should go get a couple of Wii's. Yeah, if we can find one. Ooh.
Burn.
Rub salt in the wound. Alright. Alright, so Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is supposed to be out Tuesday, but you can buy it now. They just said fuck it. Like, a bunch of early copies got out, and then they're like, fuck it, just let them have it. And the verdict from IGN, at least, is with the first review. The upstep and visual detail from older console versions is a nice bonus, but Tomb Raider didn't need massaging. It's the same well-realized action reboot for Lara Croft that came as such a pleasant surprise last year. It's well-written, sympathetic, inciting, beautiful, and well-made. And yeah, I would agree. It got a 9. They said its negative part is boring multiplayer, which also true. Yeah, if you haven't played that game yet, absolutely play the prettier version. But if you have, I don't think it's worth getting
Shelling out the extra money for it?
Yeah, to just play it but prettier. So, but obviously everyone has a different opinion on that. Alright, so our second to last news story here is Microsoft paid Machinima. So Microsoft and Machinima are working together on a promotion that would give YouTube creators money for positive posting videos about the Xbox One. The promotion gives incentives to YouTubers to post videos of Xbox One with a $3 CPM bonus. The campaign is highlighted in email and tweet by Machinima's Ron Smith. So Machinima is having to offer you a 3 CPM bonus when you participate in a continued promotion for Xbox One. You need at least 30 seconds of gameplay or footage of any Xbox One game. Verbally mention the game you are playing. Tag your video with Xbox One M13. Follow guidelines listed in the assignment. Submit the live YouTube link through Potent. And for those of you who don't know what 3 CPM is, that's $3 for every 1,000 views. So if Anthony and I were to do this for, like, say, this podcast or a video, Anthony and I would each get $1.50. No, wait,
wow.
we would get $15 each, because this averages about 10,000 hits. So, yeah. So, Anthony, let's go talk some positive things about Xbox One and make $15 each.
Xbox One is better than PlayStation 4, bar none. Shut up, PlayStation 4 fanboys.
There you go. Anthony earned his $15. Xbox One is great. I love KI. All right, I got my $15. Sweet.
Forza 5 is the best racing game ever. Gran Turismo 6, you're out.
Oh.
Another $15.
Xbox. I'll pretend I'm an Xbox real quick. Everybody sucks but me. There we go.
Honestly, though, yeah. We talked about this on Unscripted, but same problem. This is different from marketing. In marketing, people lie a lot in marketing. I mean, that's how you sell things anyways, okay? They always say their game is the best. I'm pretty sure on the back of the box of Aliens, Colonial Marines, it says, thrilling adventure. Well, if your idea is total garbage, is thrilling. Perfect. Works for you. But for most people, no. I understand that marketing is filled with lots of false promises. But what Microsoft is doing here is paying people for positive reviews.
Paying positive reviews because it's not like they're giving them the console.
They're not
paying them so little This is literally less money. I think this is less money than you would get if you just got 10,000 hits. Hold on, yeah. And also, just so you know, you get more money if you're not a partner with Machinima, just so you all know.
Yeah, the thing is
so
how should I put this?
Yeah, if you have a video that has 10,000 hits on it, and you continue to make videos and traffic like that throughout the month, you're making about $17 a day.
That's not a lot. And I lost my train of thought.
That's not a lot. So
this is like literally what the title of Unscripted Access is. The cost of bribing YouTubers worth it? For Microsoft, that's the question. For the YouTubers, the question is the money you're getting worth it?
I mean, let's do it for us. So, like, let's say our 60-minute access was one person instead of two. Same thing with Super Mega Awesome Go Playtime. They average about 20,000 hits, which is about $25 a month you'd be getting, or a day. Which 25 times 30, that's $750 at the end of the month. So that's supplemental income. That's a decent amount of money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like $750 is nothing to sneeze at. Granted, in our case, if we were to do that, we'd have to split it amongst 2, 3, 4 people, depending on what the project is, obviously. But still. But then, like, are you really willing to sacrifice integrity and this shit getting out and a bunch of other crap for an additional $60?
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. Yes, marketing is full of false promises. But what Microsoft is doing here is telling a person to possibly be dishonest. Maybe that's not the right way of putting it. But you're paying for a positive review. You're bribing somebody. Okay? Marketing, at least people are aware, it's marketing. When you see a commercial of the PlayStation 4 promising greatness awaits or something like that, you can tell that's definitely a commercial. Whereas here, it's like a back-end deal and basically abusing people's trust to, get a gain of maybe like 500 sales. Marketing, that's the point of marketing, yes. But what Microsoft and these YouTubers are doing, if it's true, is challenging professional integrity. When you do reviews, when you do opinionated works or editorials, people who read what you write take your word and trust what you say. Now, obviously, you're going to get the occasional person that's going to come by and say, oh, you said something I don't agree with you. You're clearly being paid off. And you are, you're just lying to everybody. Occasionally you get that, but there's usually no proof. Until there is proof. Then you're in deep trouble. Because now you can't be trusted. It says that your word can be bought off with money. And in this case, if you're a YouTuber who accepted the $15 a day.
Well, no, $15 a day is your average, what you make.
Oh, okay, so maybe 10 or 5.
No, not even. This is 3 CPM per view. So let's say you make 2 videos about this and you get 20,000 hits, you're getting only $120.
Okay, so $120. But the same. So let's see. I lost my thought. Darn it. What was I just saying?
You were talking about YouTubers making next to nothing off of this.
Okay, yeah, like when you're a reviewer, people look at your stuff and they trust your opinion. Yes, obviously you're gonna get the one person who's pissed off and thinks that you're paid off, but usually they don't have proof until there is.
Yeah.
Then there's a huge problem because now it says that your word, your opinion, can be bought off with money. Anyone who has enough money can manipulate what you say. And to a lot of people, that discredits you.
And this is not the same as like, okay, so Giant Bomb and Rooster Teeth are 2 podcasts I listen to frequently. But it's not the same as like them at the beginning of their podcast. Like at the beginning of the Giant Bomb podcast, they promote stamps.com. and they blatantly make it obvious that's an advertisement. Same thing with Rooster Teeth and Audible and GameFly.
Okay, maybe like an example with us. When we went to CES in 2013, at the beginning of the video, we always said something like, "I'm here at CES, many thanks to Seagate, storage for life." We said that at the beginning of every one of our
Storage for life.
Storage for life, homie.
Worst fucking promotional tag I've ever had to say in anything.
I don't think it's that bad, but it's pretty easy to make fun of. I agree with that.
It's pretty up there. Like, I mean,
what they're trying to say is that they offer a lot of big storage solutions, so you can put everything on it.
So one thing that I love any company thing that we get sent or have to told. So I actually pulled out our Halo 4 reviewers guide that they sent us with Halo 4, which arrived to Aaron at the wrong house and late. So lots of positive press about Microsoft on this show.
Yeah, but okay,
but no, Halo 4 reviewers. Welcome to the UNSC, Spartan. On November 6th, returns with the most anticipated game of the year, Halo 4, and closes a retail copy of Halo 4 for the 360 and a fact sheet to assist you in your coverage of the game. In preparation for deployment, please take note of the following requirements. For security reasons, we ask that you submit your gamer tag to so-and-so, and they talk about the embargo and a bunch of other stuff. But fucking in preparation for your deployment... Dear God. And they also tell you a bunch of shit on here that, like, I feel if you were reviewing a Halo game, you would know already, or at least I would hope you would. You know?
I'm a bit.
Well, yeah, but like Emily, I know you're not a big Halo fan, really.
No, but I know someone who is.
Yeah, me.
Well, besides you.
This is my favorite. This is like one of my favorites from Gran Turismo.
Oh, okay. Do you have Gran Turismo? Go nuts.
I already read this on the script, but I'll read it again. Premium versus standard cars. With the exception of fully built interiors, all cars in GT6 are treated equally. There are no limitations on performance tuning or race mods. Exteriors of all classic GT vehicles have been converted to PS3 spec, creating a seamless racing and photo gallery experience with all 1,200 vehicles.
So,
man, tell me why my Super Legacy wagon has blocky modeling and has pixelated textures up close.
So,
PS3 spec, all right.
Well, like, the thing is, Emily, like I was saying, though, is, like, we know you're not a Halo fan, so we wouldn't assign you Halo 4 to review.
Thank you.
Like, that's, like, if you were a staff member with us, I wouldn't, like, you know, we wouldn't be going through the list of games, we'd be going, like, Halo 4, someone needs to cover that. Because there's most games, we, like, just, like, if you want to cover it, you cover it. Some are so big that we have to cover it. Like, you know, Anthony, what would you say a game is? Like, Grand Theft Auto, right? Like, even if no one on the site gave a fuck about Grand Theft Auto, we would have to cover Grand Theft Auto. Like,
it was one of those games that had to be reviewed.
Yeah, like, it's just, like, Halo 4. So, like, we would give Halo 4 to me because I've played through all the Halo games.
Right.
You know, so...
Okay.
You know.
Right.
So shit like, let's see, what was a perfect example here? Like, they spend time to tell you what the Forge is. Because, you know, we're 4 games into the Forge and people still don't know what it is. Let's see.
Not many people talk about it, really.
Well, yeah,
some do. Like, for example, me, I know what Forge is, but I don't know exactly the intricate details of it.
Yeah, but you still know what it is, at least, and like
it's a map creator, right?
Yeah, and you like don't even play Halo that much. Like I'm like a person reviewing Halo should know what the Forge is already, but oh God, I love how half of this is just like promoting the game. I really wish I still had the Aliens one. I threw it out. That one was
okay. So, moving it back a bit on topic. So, when we were at CS, we had like I'm at Seagate, many thanks. I'm at CES, many thanks to Seagate Storage for Life. Like, right there, we make it very clear that Seagate paid or sponsored our trip to CES. But we don't let that interfere with our work.
Right.
With our reviews. We just simply make it very clear that we were at CES because CES sponsored our trip. And that's like, that's like advertising right there. You think that, oh, BMW's pay for all your advertising bills. Of course you would, be biased towards BMW because they're the ones keeping you alive.
No, I talk all kinds of shit about Seagate quite frequently.
I know. Like, they're talking about, like, oh, you're small, you're desperate. Of course you would say things like that to get money. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But people always say things like that, but they don't have proof of it. Like I said, until they do. Like with this Microsoft and YouTuber thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how to
describe.
I don't know how to describe this because
honestly,
trying to separate this from marketing is really hard because anything I say right now can be applied to marketing.
If they wanted to make people like they wanted to make this less scumbaggy and still promote themselves, all they had to do was send those like they did this with some YouTubers, not all, is say, hey, look, if you want to review, like, we are going to give you an Xbox One and we just want you to give your honest opinion on it. Like, honest review. That's all we want. Because first off, if you get your hands on an Xbox One, like I've gotten to try one in person, and everyone I know who has tried one in person has given it a positive review. So, that you already know that that's not going to be the issue. And also, it gives, like, oh yeah, Microsoft gave those guys, free Xboxes. That's actually positive press as a company. Versus this gets out, like, no one, like, anyone who, like, knows Microsoft right now is just like, oh god, ew.
Yeah, this kind of brings up a pretty good question. Was the money they saved really worth it? For Microsoft, it probably was. Because for Microsoft, when you're that big of a company and you have a tiny little bit of bad press, I'm pretty sure you just apply time and money to it, and eventually people are going to forget about it in 2 or 3 years. Which they probably will. I mean, Microsoft has managed to get a lot of consumers to forget that the original 360s broke down a lot. That got to the point where 360 sales were still okay, even though they had colossal amount of failures, of hardware failures at the beginning. People have forgotten about it. And we stopped talking about it. So I think, like, for Microsoft, not a big deal. For the YouTubers, though, this is a bigger problem because now you have damaged your long-term reputation.
Sadly.
Because, like I said, unlike marketing, which is like, oh, it's marketing, of course they would say that. In this case, you have damaged your professional integrity. People question whether they can trust what you say. Because when your message can be bought with money, like this is like the news. Would you trust a newspaper that was constantly bought off by corporations and all it was doing was spewing propaganda at you? You wouldn't. No. I wouldn't feel okay with it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't feel okay with it. So, and your long-term reputation is damaged. Now, people kind of constantly question, and stuff like this does not go away very easily. People like to focus on the negative, and it's going to take a long time to fix this. So, I don't know what the reasons why YouTubers accepted this deal, because maybe the $120 seems quite appealing. I mean, $120, if you think about it, that's like almost 2 brand new games. $120 could almost finance you your own capture card. But it's a back end deal. It's almost bribery, and you're basically abusing the trust of your viewers.
If you think of this long term, though, like let's say you are, let's say if you're a little bit lower than us and you're in the 10,000 hit range, like, once again, let's say you make a video on it, because really, with the time frame they gave for how long this deal lasts, you can make 1, maybe 2 videos. So is it really worth $30 to $120? Like, really? For all the how fucked your reputation would be? Like, I can understand if it was
maybe because if you're super small and you damage reputation, maybe it's not a big deal because you're too small to cause a colossal impact.
Also, on the other side of this, for the really big guys like Boogie 2988, who instead of taking the deal, decided to out Microsoft, which props to him for doing that. Kyle Bossman brought this up. It cost, if you had like 1 million hits on this, you'd get $3,000. Which, like, on a Microsoft marketing budget, that doesn't even show up. That's not even like, that's like a penny to Microsoft. That's less than a penny. So fucking, if you're the YouTuber who did it and you have 1 million hits, Microsoft thinks you are less than a penny.
Wow.
Yeah. Fucking, yeah. Fucking A.
Microsoft's a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, exactly. There
and
you go.
To get that many views and to get that much, they're basically saying that you're shit.
Yeah.
You are cheap. You're cheap labor.
You're cheap.
That's probably another thing right there too. Is like, oh, those YouTubers, they're cheap labor, cheap marketing labor.
which
we don't have to throw out any expensive ad campaigns. We'll just pay them to say things.
Which, to be fair, like a lot of smaller sites like us can be seen as that, and small YouTubers of our size.
Like sites of our size are more susceptible to being accused of these things because we are small. We're trying to move up in the world, and we need funds to do anything. Yeah, outside of basic podcasting and recording.
And even then, like, we need equipment, so it's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, like, small websites kind of fall... Small websites get accused of this easily because we don't exactly have... Like, currently, whatever ad revenue we have just goes straight back into paying server bills.
And marketing.
Like, no one on this site is paid doing this. The website doesn't run out of... The website does not even run it with enough revenue to pay anybody on the staff. All the money that comes in is immediately put back into the server costs.
Yeah, and the marketing costs and the fucking trip costs.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy that when a company comes by and say, hey, we will pay you $3,000 to,
But the thing is,
for you to say a few things. That couldn't be tempting. But
but like the guys who are making millions off of YouTube, those guys actually live off YouTube. Like the guys not making millions, but the guys who get millions of hits in the million area actually like live off YouTube. Like they get, they make something like $3,000 a month and they're fine. So I mean, those guys, are okay. They're doing well. But, like, even that $3,000, like, to just fucking decimate your reputation.
Yeah, like I said, people, when you build a fan base like that, there are people who trust you and are willing to listen to what you say.
Yeah, like, think of how many people buy a game because, like, I know, Anthony...
For example, there's a reason why we read reviews, because we trust the opinion... Like, we don't listen to marketing because what does marketing do? All they say is positive things, because that's the whole point of marketing. That's what marketing is. Marketing is to promote your product and say good things about it. Marketing doesn't say, yes, our product has these flaws compared to our competitor. You don't say that when you're trying to sell something. So...
And then when you go... Like, first off, finding a reviewer you trust and that you click with is fucking hard. Because, you have to find someone who has similar taste as you. So, like, because if you come to our site and you read a review by Anthony, but you have similar taste to, like, Nick, that it's, probably not the best idea. Mm-hmm. But, like, if you read a review, like, if, let's say you love fighting games, and then I review a fighting game and give it a positive score, you're like, oh, okay. That's probably a good fighting game.
On the end of the viewer, and I'm pretty sure this is a lot of people out there who are outraged at this, if you're a fan of a person and you like what they do, and then you found out that they've been bought off, that you feel like you've been lied to. Humans don't like being lied to. There's a lot of bad things. Lots of bad things happen when people find out that they've been lied to. For one thing, they don't want to be associated anymore sometimes, depending on the severity. So I've been repeating that point and pounded it to death already, but basically, yeah.
I get that there is tempting, because first off, this shit, like...
$3,000. You think about it. Like, you think about it like the the evil part of your brain is saying, it's only $3,000, and you know what? If everyone hides it well enough, they don't need to know. You can have $3,000, and guess what? You can buy some nice things.
Or just like, even if it's like our size, where it would be like a couple $100, like it's because our videos on average 15,000 to 30-ish. There are the occasional outliers who get in the 60, 70,000, and a couple of low balls that are the twos, obviously. But most time, 15,000 seems our ballpark. 25 on occasion. So for us, it'd be a couple hundred. And like, yeah, but like, man, $200 that can pay my cell phone bill, or $200 that is some good new equipment. But on the other end of that, you have to realize, like, yeah, but if this gets out, no one's ever going to trust us again. And, on the other side of that, like, $200, like, well, what's $200 really? Like, that's not even a week of work for most places, for most people. So, yeah, like, that's, you gotta be, to do this job, you need to have good morals.
I will never know the answer to this, but I wanted to ask the YouTubers that accepted this deal why they accepted it. Because they have to have a reason, right? Aside, I mean, we understand that the money is tempting, but there probably is another reason than that. Because to me, that just doesn't feel like the only reason, because we kind of established that's probably not as much as you could have made just on the normal YouTube money scale.
Like, if, so, I mean, if you're making 15,000 hits on video and you're producing regular content, you're probably pulling in, 20 to 25 a day, and you don't really need that money too badly, because you have a day job with it. You only need to work part-time at that point, and then you're doing something you enjoy. Like, if Anthony and I could only work part-time and then just do TGA shit the rest of the time, oh my god.
Yeah.
The heaven that would be.
Yeah, for me, the whole thing just leaves me confused a little bit, because I'm like, I understand why Microsoft does it. It saves them money as far as marketing goes, and it saves them money for not having to send out systems in some cases. But it confuses me why the YouTubers would accept such a deal, because we kind of established it's really not that much money, and even if it is a lot of money, there's probably another reason. So,
propaganda.
But I will never know. I will never know why the YouTubers officially accepted it, or why Machinima accepted it.
Well, Machinima accepted it because they probably paid Machinima a shit ton of money.
Maybe, but as far as the YouTubers end, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably keep
But
this.
For now, I will refrain from buying an Xbox One for a bit.
Yeah.
Because when stuff like this happen, let's be honest here. Whenever a company does something like this, and you don't like them, well, what do? You obviously don't buy things from them. Or in this case, the gaming division of Microsoft.
All right, so you and I have kind of taken over things a bit here. Emily, do you have any last opinions on this?
Not really. I mean, I'm obviously not going to get an Xbox One at all, or anytime soon, unless I move in with someone who's a huge Xbox fan, in which case things are going to get a little interesting.
Okay, well, even then, I don't think, like, it would be, well, I don't know. If you were a hardcore of another fan type, then there might be fights. Who knows?
There probably will be, because I'm a hardcore PlayStation nerd.
Okay,
so.
Well, I float between Nintendo and PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm that floater, but I'm leaning more towards the PlayStation, because I've grown with that. I've been playing it for a good part of my life.
I understand that. All right. Okay, so we got a little bit of stuff from forums and shit people send to us. First thing is what is your favorite JRPG soundtrack and why?
Ooh, I like this question.
All right, what is it?
It's a hard one to answer, though. JRPG soundtrack and why? Two immediately come off the top of my head. The first is Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger's definitely up there. That one's up
Interesting
there.
story about how the music of that game was written. So the guy was officially a composer, but he was doing more sound engineering work. So he gave an ultimatum to the president of Square at the time. Forgot the guy's first name, but his last name is Sakaguchi. Sakaguchi. And Sakaguchi's like, okay, you'll make the music. So the guy was working so hard on the music and not sleeping that he developed stomach ulcers and ended up in the hospital. That's how hard that guy worked to write the music of Chrono Trigger.
Wow.
But the Chrono Trigger music, absolutely beautiful. Loved it. I don't know what else to say about it, really. It's just cool. And 16, it's basically what you would expect from a great 16-bit soundtrack. So everyone talks about how Link to the Past had awesome music and how Super Mario World had great music and stuff like that. But Chrono Trigger also did it very well. The next awesome soundtrack that comes to the top of my head is Xenoblade Chronicles. One of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my life to date. Very beautiful, complements the art very, very nicely. And it does not have it does not have the melody that you would expect from JRPGs, but it is written extremely well. It matches the mood perfectly well. It matches the ambient extremely well. There are times when that music can make a lake seem absolutely gorgeous, even though it is a Wii game. And fun fact, some of the music in Xenoblade Chronicles was also written by the same guy who did the music for Chrono Trigger.
Okay, so for me, obviously Persona 3 and 4 are obviously up there. I love Persona 4's kind of poppy music. I think it says everything about Persona 4 that I have played the Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden for a combined total of something like 400 hours, and the music still isn't old to me. And Final Fantasy X. Those two stand out in my mind pretty well. I also, of course, the Kingdom Hearts games. Those have great music for a JRPG. I don't know, Emily. What about you? JRPGs?
For me, it would be Kingdom Hearts franchise. I mean, very well done, especially with the combination of the Final Fantasy style with Disney. Just having those two, those kind of musics together, it was beautifully done.
I really enjoy the main theme, like that.
Oh yeah,
that's
never gets old. Just hearing it in different versions, different mixes, never gets old.
And then you have that thing, that J-pop that used for the trailers, that was pretty good. So.
Yeah, and then Final Fantasy. I'm just gonna go extremely vague and go with any and every Final Fantasy type music, because
all of them do have great music.
They all do.
I mean, they made a rhythm game based around just Final Fantasy music.
Oh, that's true, they did. But some are just so hauntingly beautiful.
I really like 10 to Xanarkand. That was good.
Oh yeah.
That game is so sad. The end of it is so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9 had a good soundtrack. I didn't really realize how distinct 9 soundtrack was until I played it now that I'm older, and also that it was on the Jimquisition, and I would watch those, and I'm like, yeah, the music is really familiar, and I really like it. What's it from? And I'm like, oh, Final Fantasy 9. Yeah.
Go figure.
So there you go. So yeah, that's that. As for the final question / piece of news, so Capcom is doing Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Another Street Fighter game?
Yeah, they're at it.
I call it normal. I mean, just look at Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to have a 4K remix in about 5 years. Just wait.
Anyway, they're calling it Ultra Street Fighter 4, which is going to have a bunch of new characters, a bunch of new modes, all that good stuff. Also, you're going to have 2 ultimates in a fight now. So you don't select an ultimate anymore. You just have both of them. So, anyway, that's part. But the recent new feature they've talked about is you will be able to upload online fights directly to YouTube.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So if you own a guy really hard, oh man, I could imagine the top guy just posting video after endless video of him just owning everybody.
You could just watch Daigo go on like a 30-win streak. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. You can watch me just suck horribly. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, I don't know. When I practice at that game, like, I know I used to be pretty good at Street Fighter 4, and I logged like 80 hours into it, and I got a lot of good practice in. But then I stopped playing and went back to it, and I'm better than most people at it, but I still suck horribly.
Yeah, I haven't played Street Fighter since like, God, when did Brandon give it to me? Probably since my birthday last year.
Yeah, and last time
we've had it for like a good 2 years already.
Yeah, and I haven't played it since Anthony. It was Anthony, Theo, Bremen, and I decided to do a fighting game day where we just played nothing but fighting games. And
so you were playing Tekken and Street Fighter, and
we played Killer Instinct.
Okay.
Dead or Alive.
Nice.
Street Fighter, and Persona 4 Arena.
Nice.
I was getting into Street Fighter 4 quite well, actually.
Yeah, you were pretty good at that. Like you were getting better. I think that if we like sat you down and kept playing and teaching you stuff, you would have been really good. It's a real shame you didn't hang around for the last bit of that when we played DOA, because Alex and I are probably the most evenly matched DOA fight you will ever see. I mean, it is ridiculous. It's like watching. You know how watching Evo is? It's like that. It's pretty much watching Evo
except
DOA.
Except between two guys who aren't exactly pros at it.
Yeah, because then we played Bremen, and Bremen just destroyed us. And like, you know, I was pretty good at DOA online, and DOA 4 I was an A+ rank. So, anyway, so that's that. I think that's really cool because there are a lot of really good fights in Street Fighter that, you know, you want to upload but never can. So, same thing with Madden, actually. Like, because of this ability to upload these clips to Facebook, I've uploaded quite a few Madden clips from the PS4. Like that epic ass game I played against that Redskins guy where I ended up winning 25-24.
Wow.
Yeah. See, hold on. I'm actually loading it up right now. Yeah, I was down 13-7 in the middle of the third, and ended up winning 25-24.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, like, stopped him at the exact perfect time to make it so he only goes up by 2 points. And then I drove it down the field in 2 long-ass plays, kicked a field goal to win it.
Well done.
Yeah. Anthony, you should watch some of the Madden clips I post if you want to get good at playing offense.
I kind of already watched you playing offense, and it's kind of a little hard to understand because it's like, I'm going to call a play, then go all Peyton Manning and call a billion different audibles.
Yeah, so...
Omaha! Omaha! Is that Hut?
So...
The Hut? What?
Never mind. You wouldn't understand.
I know. I noticed that NFL, for some reason, NFL.com wouldn't shut up about, what is the meaning of Omaha? What is the meaning? This is one of, humanity's biggest questions.
It's right up there with the 7 Wonders of the World.
Yeah.
Really? Well, I always thought that whenever Peyton uses the term Omaha is so that people think he's getting ready to hike it, and they cross the line, which causes the neutral zone infraction on defense.
That's part of it, but it's also okay. So I'm the only one here who actually played football, so this will be fun to describe. So that's part of it. So you're right about that, but also depending on how you line up, Omaha means something different.
Oh, that's true.
So, like, for instance, we had bear. For instance, at Reno High, we had bear. So if you were in what was it? If you were in a 4-4 or a 4-3, bear means to run dive or power. But if you are in a 3-4 or a 50, basically an odd front, then that means to run trap. So
that's right. I remember hearing like different words from different quarterbacks say which meant go this way, go that way, or something like that.
Like at the AFC Championship game, fucking Peyton Manning yelled something like Montana Fat Man.
Yeah, like, yeah, he did.
So is that designed to be an insult?
No, it's
to guide.
They try and so coaches try and make things like associate with other things. So bear, trap.
Right.
Ta-da. What was another one? Army, boot.
So if you have a super smart defensive lineman, that stuff isn't going to work too well, is it?
Well, in the NFL, I imagine they just call shit whatever they just think of weird names for it. Like Omaha isn't related to fucking anything, and it also means like 50 different plays. So it just depends on the front they give you. So like I can still remember some of our audibles. We had Army, Bear, Table, Army, Bear, Table. What was another one we had? Let's see, I'm trying to remember all our plays. Defense didn't really have that many audibles. And even if they did, they were blatantly obvious. Like Adam was linebackers blitz A gap.
Yeah.
The
blitz.
Yeah, like so there are different gaps on the defense where you go on a blitz. Adam was A gap. I forgot what B gap was. So yeah, dogs was the defensive ends are blitzing because we ran a 50 front, which Anthony, a 50 is kind of like a 3-4, but the outside linebackers are actually defensive ends. They're moved up, and there are 3 defensive tackles. It's honest to God, it's basically just a 3-4 that's kind of just focused on stopping the run. Is what it is. Yay.
Oh, nerd talk. I don't know how we got here, but it feels like unscripted.
Is there anything else you want to know about football, A1?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm good.
Alright. Yeah, no, Anthony, I'll walk you through some offense stuff sometime later. It'll be fun. Because with your defense and a good offense, man, you could dominate some people. But we also need to get you off of that Bears playbook. That I formation shit needs to stop.
I like the I formation.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Well, you hate it, but I like it.
But you need to be able to score.
I like having fullbacks.
That's great. Hey.
I know. It's ancient. That's a Papa Bear BS thing. I know.
Look, you need to be able to score 50 points a game.
Great. I've got plenty of shotgun formation plays and single back plays to accomplish that. Okay, I formations may consist of like 3 out of the 7 formations, but there's a lot of shotgun formations and single back formations you can also use. Yes?
I like to run the spread. You know that.
Yes, I like to run power football and occasionally spread it out.
Yeah, no, I'm...
Like, for you like to run spread. I kind of like to keep things diverse. I can put a fullback in there, and I can take the fullback out, or I could, do lots of things. Flexibility. It gives me flexibility.
I do...
Of course, I say that, and I can't score more than 20 points against you, which is...
I have a lot of flexibility, it's just that I do it in a different way. So instead of... So... It let's
for me,
say...
when I do run plays, having a fullback, I feel kind of helps a little bit. So even though it makes it blatantly obvious I'm running a running play.
So what I'll do is I'll run it with 3 wideouts and a tight end. And you're like, well, you don't have as much blocking, and you are correct, but they think it's a pass play. So that's part of it.
Well, the thing is, I don't fall for those things too easily, I don't think.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't know. I just run very good defenses. That's probably why.
Well, yeah, Well, here's the thing. You're a hard defense to play against because you're very disciplined and it's hard to find shit to exploit.
Even though I call like the same 7 plays.
Yeah.
I call the same 7 plays all the time. Like, if I told you, you would have figured out huge holes.
Like, you call a very disciplined defense, and then you have very good players to execute it. So it's very hard to get to you. The problem with your offense is the second if I can stop the run, then you're not as efficient, and because you're not as efficient, you have to resort to passing, and you don't do as well under pressure passing. Like, that's just...
that's probably because I don't know the audible buttons at the time of how to stop Von Miller.
Yeah, that's part of it. Like,
now it's like, okay, audible Matt Forte block left. Now I would do that now. But back then it was like, I don't know the audible plays to tell people to stop things.
Yeah, that's honestly the first thing I do when I play someone is I make sure on defense, it's like, okay, do they have the ability to stop Von Miller? That is my first thing that I check off. And then I go, okay, can they exploit man-to-man, setups? And then I go from there. Like last night, I won a game against a Chiefs player 24-7, and I was in cover 2 almost the entire game. Just because he kept trying to run it to the outside, and I would pinch my defensive tackles in, so the middle of the field was taken care of by them, and then my corners were waiting there on the outside zone.
Football.
But, yeah. Football. Rah. Fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. Fun time.
I am just driving around in GTA 5 in this fire truck, crashing into cars just for the hell of it, and it's amazing. It's like crash testing.
Are you listening to the West Coast Classic station, the best radio station?
Because I'm podcasting and I can't listen to it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, West Coast Classic is good though. It's good. Yeah. It's a very good radio. It's a very good radio station. It's just the quality of the humor in Grand Theft Auto 5 fell off a cliff so hard from GTA 4.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Like, it's just the humor feels so dry. It just isn't funny because in GTA 4, I would love how every time they would talk about America's Next Top Hooker or what's some other things that they talked about. Their liberal and conservative radio stations are hilarious.
Those are good.
To, flat out. Whereas the talk show that I listen to that in GTA 5 is just Laszlo not getting anywhere, which is like, really? The pop station's not as good. The rock station's okay.
The music stations, with the exception of like the rap station, got way better.
Yes,
but every other station got way worse, and the country station got better, but every other station got worse. And another problem that I had with it was the fact that like they didn't have a Russian pop station this time, which I realized, the only reason they had that is because of the...
Yeah, but it was actually kind of cool to listen to in GTA 4.
Yeah, I really like that intro song they play when Roman picks you up.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, it's just, the humor isn't as good in GTA 5. The radio stations aren't as funny as to listen to.
Story's not as good.
Story's not as good. It was just that, man, they made so many things outside the story better, but I think one of the reasons why we fell in love with GTA 4 was that the humor when we're driving, like, I would always listen to the talk shows in GTA 4 because they would just make fun of American society and politics. It's so great. It's so funny. I get a good laugh of it every time, and it never gets old. In GTA 5, I don't care. I mean, it's just like, it kind of takes the fun out of driving around the city, if I'm honest. Which is a bit of a shame considering how good of a city Los Santos is.
Yeah, which, I think that game does a lot of things right. And it like I said, it was one of the best games of last year.
It's very fun.
But notice it didn't win as many Game of the Years as GTA 4 did. It wasn't this big revolutionary game. It was just a really well designed, huge, massively huge open world game. It was a lot of fun. Like, not gonna deny that, but I don't know. It just wasn't as special as 4 or 3 was. Anyway, I think we're pretty much done here. Unless anyone has anything they want to talk about. Anyone want to promote something? Talk about something?
Subscribe to this. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Oh, fuck, I can't talk. Subscribe to us on iTunes, please.
Yes, and share us on iTunes. 5 stars.
This show actually goes up the day before the new episode of The Raid, because raids usually happen on Tuesdays, and the GameKast is on Mondays, so expect that soon, where Bronson and I kind of talk MMOs again.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there's that. We're also we're gonna have a panel soon, and it's gonna be later in the day because we swear. So,
we swear as in we curse.
Yes.
And we don't want little kids present.
Yeah. So
I do believe the guideline is PG-13.
Yes.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Well, yeah. PG-13 is fine. I mean, we talk in PG-13 most of the time until a terrible, inappropriate joke.
Until Brevin starts talking about eating dogs.
And
then it gets interesting.
What is my beauty? What you think? Oh God, he is a funny dude, but goddamn, he's gonna get us in trouble one day. All right, so we're gonna be on a panel. It's you said the Reno Collective. Is that what it is? The Reno Collective, March 1st. It's $10 to get into the concert/panel setup. It's going to be us doing a panel on game collecting, a panel on retro games, and then performances by the Reno Video Game Orchestra. So yeah, you should be totally stoked about that. And there's going to be apparently a funk band that plays 8-bit video game music.
A funk band.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's about that. Obviously, go check out our other shows. Go on iTunes, rate them. We're gonna be on YouTube again soon. And peace out, everyone. Anyone got anything else to say?
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it for me.
All right, bye, everyone. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.